podcast ever. The realest podcast ever. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to bait me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I'ma have me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. Y'all's the hate on all of my moves, but now niggas on it. Y'all used to debate me on me and my views, but now niggas on it. I used to tell them I had me a show, but now niggas on it. Her homies on it. Your homies on it. The realest podcast ever. The realest podcast ever. The realest podcast ever.
This day is trash. Monday, January 18th. Today is starting off absolutely fucking garbage.
What the fuck?
Matt's mic's falling all over the place. I was late as shit thanks to 76, man. It's a bad day, but we're going to turn this thing around, man. Realest Podcast Ever, episode 134.
I saw Martin Luther King on a party flyer with Davies. That just shows you where we at in America and Earth.
This is actually my favorite time of the year because of all the MLK flyers. I just want to see where niggas
It's
just want
just
to take.
so bad. Like, I get it. And I'm not knocking none of the parties, none of the events. But, like, I saw a flyer where it was, like, bitches with, like, nothing on and showing their asses. Yeah. And it was literally Martin Luther King at the podium at the White House address pointing out into the crowd. Why?
I have a dream that them hoes over there gonna be at Revel tonight.
Them hoes right there.
Them hoes and them hoes only.
It's like, why, yo? Like, and you would think that would be some kind of lawsuit.
It's not.
To just use images of Martin Luther King?
It's because, as you know, as black people, like, the whole attempt to even do it is just tasteless and stupid to begin with. And then the fact that there's no follow-up just goes to show that, like, culturally speaking, when not me and you and Dan, but when you add us all up, we don't really stand for shit. No. Because we allow things to go on and it's like we're entertained by it. Like, that's a desecration of a legend.
I want to say I had a conversation with you and Rod the other day. I was talking about how people from London, England, you can't play about the Beatles with them. Like,
you get your head
Paul McCartney is knighted. Yeah. Like, I'm not. He got knighted Sir by Paul the McCartney. Queen. He's Sir Paul McCartney, which means he has achieved the highest level that a man from England can reach. Correct. You are basically accepted as royalty. You are a sir.
Yes.
And I'm like, for black people, it's like Harriet Tubman is a punchline and a joke.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They talk about Harriet Tubman going on the $20 bill, and then niggas just went into a frenzy. You spending them Tubmans.
Let me hold a tub. That was a real thing. Let me hold a tub till Friday. Like, that was a real thing. Like, black people don't take shit serious.
Nothing.
Nothing. We got MLK on party flyers with Davies. Like, what? Meek said, I can't stop beefing with niggas. That's like MLK chilling off of the civil rights movement.
He said I'm wild past it. I'm like MLK.
Like, we don't take shit serious.
Said, why don't you just ignore him? He said, the thing about me is I'm wild past it. I can't. That's like MLK not standing up for civil rights. I said, is he comparing himself beefing with niggas from 25th and Girard
black people,
MLK?
Black people do not take anything serious.
Nothing whatsoever, man.
I saw that party flyer and I was just like, this is too much.
We've jumped the shark.
We've officially reached a point where this is a little bit much.
This is the point of in economics class they teach you about the point of diminishing returns. Yeah. This is it right here, baby. This is it.
It's the equivalent of, in poker, it's called dumping. When you just calling any fucking thing, you become a calling station. You just dumping and bleeding off chips. Yeah, that's what black people do on a daily basis. We just bleed off integrity. we dump.
Like, how much is left in the integrity reservoir? You need to dump 40% more of this shit. Like, okay, black folks selling integrity. Buy one get 3,000 free.
Yeah, man. Speaking of losing integrity, I was acting a goddamn fool over the weekend. Hookah Matt, man. Hookah Matt lives forever.
You were in the Carolinas.
In the liners. I text Dan. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to need a starter hookah.
When I come back.
Yeah. So Dan got a starter hookah for me. Be an entry-level hookah. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. I don't need nothing to light up or play Bluetooth. just simple hookah smoke. You know what I mean?
I had to. I got the joint that had the Bluetooth speaker in there. I took the speaker off. I have enough soundage in my domicile, so I took the speaker off, and now the hookah's working perfectly. It's the best at home hookah I ever had.
Yeah.
Holla at Hookah Boss for all your hookah supplies and such.
Yeah, Hookah Boss. But week was cool, man. I went down on Wednesday. Shout out to Jules. He's here. Jules is here. He's out.
Where did Jules go?
I think he went to the bathroom. But he's here. It's like I went down there for his birthday, and everything was cool. Everything was going along great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw his mom, Miss Pam. I ain't seen her in forever. Was chilling with his daughter. Every holiday. I'm just like I haven't seen him in forever. So it's like I'm kicking it with his fam. Went over, hollered at my man Steve. Ain't seen him in forever. It was a fun time. Friday afternoon comes. That's his actual birthday.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm like, what do you want to do? He's like, we can go to Ruby Tuesdays or Fridays. I'm like, nigga, no. Like, I'm not.
Is there nothing better? There's no better option.
Because all he eats is Beyond Burgers. So he like, as long as I get a Beyond Burger,
it's lit.
I'm like, you don't want to go to like Steak 48 or something? He like, what I'm going to eat, like a Beyond ribeye? It's like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? He like, I go to steakhouses and eat mashed potatoes and shit because he a vegetarian.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right. So I'm like, I really don't want to go to Ruby Tuesdays. He was like, he did you know you can get 2 meals for $20 with the appetizer? I'm like, yeah, I've seen the commercial.
I'm aware of the marketing.
I've actually seen the bargains.
It's an effective promotion. Nonetheless, I don't want to go there.
I like for your birthday, I just don't want to do that. So he was like, well, we can all go out, like the fam, his mom, daughter, everybody. Yeah. We can go to Maggiano's. That'd be simple because I can eat, vegetarian pastas and yolk and all, whatever. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's actually cool. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about something later on in the evening, but nonetheless, I'm like, okay, we can go to Maggiano's. We go to Maggiano's, have a nice lunch, pretty decent. I paid for everybody. You see a birthday, you ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I paid for everybody food. We had a good time. It was awesome. You know what I'm saying? His daughter was funny as shit. Like, it was a good time. Yeah. So as we leave in South Park, Maggiano's, we walked around South Park a little bit, the mall, whatever. We leaving about it there. So he was like, yeah, tonight, did you figure out what you wanted to do? I'm like, this is it.
Right, this is as good as it gets, Dave. Had a glass of wine with lunch.
Y'all ran up 300 in the Maggiano's. This is it. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I thought you wanted to go to like Steak 48 or something. I'm like, yeah, but you said no. You was like, you don't want to have just mashed potatoes and bread. Yeah. So, I called, they didn't have no reservations. The only reservation was like 4 o'clock. So I was just like, I figured you want to do it. So he was like, all right, give me like an hour, I'm figuring something out. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to my hotel room, chill for a little bit. He taking his daughter and mom all in back. Cool. Yeah. He calls me around 4:30, 5 o'clock. He's like, yeah, so what you want to do tonight? You got Firehouse, which is like a essentially like a hookah lounge, hookah place or whatever. Then he was like, you got Ink and Ivy, which is a place like that. And then he was like, it's a place called Stats. He was like, Stats got really good food. Like everybody always talks about Stats food and food. He's like, their food is really, really good. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, let's do the Stats joint. They got really good food. He was like, all right, bet. I'm gonna send you the location. Meet me there at, what'd he say? Meet me there at 7:30. So I'm like, okay, great. Now, if somebody tell you to meet you somewhere at 7:30 and they got great food.
Nice, calm little dinner.
It's a restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, calm dinner.
Now, mind you, in North Carolina, everything closes at 9 o'clock.
Oh, shit.
Everything closes at 9 o'clock. So, you know what I'm saying? They're open, quasi-open.
Yeah.
I told you.
Daytime action only.
It's not like Atlanta. You can bring the Tigers in. You can't do that. And there's no reason. You know, by the time you bring the Tigers in, you got to take them back. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, all right, bet. Meet you there at 7:30. They got great food. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So, I put on a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like in my mind,
like a real shirt.
Like a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like a polo golf joint. Yeah. One of my rugby joints I've been holding. Jeans. I had on like not crazy night, but like decent. I didn't wear like fucking Stacey Adams. Right. But I put on some nice sneakers and shit. I'm like, So I see the location, and the crazy part about it is I pull up to the spot. It was where we first landed when I first got there. It's like a Red Robin. It's like a
complex.
Like a shopping complex.
Yeah.
So it almost looks the equivalent of like when you pull up to Redstone and PF Chang's. That's how it looks, like that brick walkway and shit. So I see the lights, Stats Restaurant. I'm like, okay, cool. I come around into its own parking lot. As I come around to the front, I see like security guards and a long line of niggas. I'm like, where are these niggas going?
LED lights.
I'm like, where are these niggas going? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and I just, by the way people are dressed.
Yeah.
You ever see the video with Kanye and Game? Wouldn't get far?
Yeah.
That's how it looks. You know what I'm saying? It's bait shit everywhere. So I'm just like, wait, am I at the right? You know what I'm saying?
There must be another stat somewhere around here.
So I pull up, I text him, yo, where you at? He's like, I'm right behind you. I just seen you pull up. I'm like, I'm at the right stats, John. So he get out, come up. So I'm like, yeah, this looks like a club. He was like, well, it's a restaurant lounge. And, you know, he's like, it's like Fridays on City Line. And I'm like, this
doesn't resemble any Fridays.
This doesn't
I know.
look like Fridays on City Line. So I'm like, fuck it. It's your birthday. I'm here. I'm like, so he leans up against the car. So I'm like, do you not want to go in? He's like, well, I'm waiting for Plus. And I'm like, who the hell is Plus? And he was like, oh, that's my man. He owned the joint. You know, he got a section for us. I'm like, we got a section. I'm like, I thought this was a restaurant. He's like, well, they got good food and shit. So I'm just like, so then this man shout out Plus. Plus was cool as shit. Plus pull up. Plus get out the truck. His wife get out the truck. His wife friend get out the truck. Another girl get out the truck. So I'm just like,
so now y'all the whole party.
Now we are. You are in conjunction.
Russell Reds in conjunction with Jelly Roll ENT.
It's 8, 9 of us. We come up to the
you have
joint.
an entourage now.
Now I'm part of an entourage. You know, of course, no line. They moved the joint out the way. They like, oh, he like, yeah, one, they all with me, you know, whatever. And security, they ain't check us, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, he really
could have got the sticks in.
Yeah, could have brought the mops in if we was on some nonsense. So we get in there, and the boy Plus, he leans into me. He was like, yo, you fan with Philly, you fan with me. So whatever, you get whatever you want. It's on the house. So I'm just like, so I can get like 190 wings if I want. You know what I'm saying? He was like, if you want 190 wings, get 100. I can meal prep for the next week in this motherfucker.
Take shit with me.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we get up in the joint, we get in a little section, and you know, me in the club is just already funny because I don't
you
know.
don't have any club etiquette.
I don't know what's right. I don't know what to do. So the server come past, she like, what kind of hookah do you want? I'm just like,
What's popular?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She was like, something minty something is like I was like, okay, bring me and she's like, what bottle do you want? I'm like, this is covered under
the get what you want plan,
the owner, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the bottle list and the prices. I was like, this is it. I got some shit. I got a couple of what's the Jones? The Apple, the Angry Orchards. Yeah. I got a 12 pack of that.
Got some Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, I go get an Angry Orchard out the car. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. I just wound up getting Ciroc because and apparently when I ordered it, everybody was like, "The fuck, you still drink this?"
2004.
They would have like.
When last time you went outside?
I was about to ask for an effing.
Let me get an effing cucumber.
But they were all drinking the Casamigos. Whatever.
Yeah,
the brown shit. Yeah. So that's why everybody was looking at me crazy. I'm like, well, bring the Casamigos, whatever the fuck they drinking. You know?
Share.
Yeah. What the fuck? Now in Carolina, you can't pour your own drinks.
Yeah, the server has to pour it. They put the bottles in the locker.
They put it in a mini locker. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that fucked me up because when she put it in there, I thought the mini locker was like a fridge. But we have a bucket of ice, so it didn't make any sense. Yeah. So I reached into the mini fridge and Plus was like, oh, no. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, that's like a fine. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, I told you get whatever you want. Don't get me fined. You know,
don't get me a $40,000 fine.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay. So the food came out. The wings were actually really good. So at this point now, I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. And they like, are you drinking? I'm like, nah, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? The hookah come, but I'm not super getting into it. I'm eating my wings and the game was on, you know. But he starts bouncing around. Then his wife, she starts bending. Her friends are bouncing around and going crazy. And then, you know, the server is pouring you the drinks in front of you. She's literally pouring like...
Yeah, she pour everybody.
She's forcing it into your hand. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I started drinking the pineapple and Casamigos and 3 or 4 of them. Then I started blowing hookah smoke. And what happened was... I'm telling you. They Know remix. Have you ever heard that in the club?
Yes. Zillion times.
Oh my God. That shit came on. I'm in my Cool Whip, inside Jello, and I don't know. It was how about that pretty motherfucker like
hello,
and it was on like that.
Hookah Matt was activated.
That song just kickstarted it, and then the next song they played was All There with Bankroll for, and you already know I love that
right
fucking
from
song.
the table.
Then they played Suck It or Not, Cam and Wayne. I haven't heard this shit in years. That was played. Then the DJ was phenomenal, and the starting to see spaceships. You see how it started? It's infectious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've said it on here, and we argued about it. The best intros in rap history, and I said I feel like Meek Mill's intro is the best intro ever at this point.
Yeah.
It is solidified. You know, they all call him Philly down there. So the DJ was like, big shout out to my nigga Philly, happy birthday. And everybody like started, saluting to our section.
Yeah.
And they cut the lights and the spotlight and the strobes. And that shit came on. And that's when my hood flew up. And that song in the club is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It wins every time.
It wins all the time, dog. It was fun. You know what I'm saying? So
Hookah Matt turned into Nightlife Matt.
Yeah, I got myself a quarantine from my family and friends close to me.
Like, don't come nowhere near us.
My dad was like, "Man, look like you had a lot of fun. I see you February." You know what I'm saying? Don't come over.
So that's how you want to play it, OG.
Don't come over here till February.
I feel you.
So yeah, it was fun though. I was sore as shit the next day. I had to rest up. You know what I'm saying? I just got rest finally last night going into today.
Right.
But it was very, very fun. And plus one playing, we had no bill.
Damn.
Leaving about it. It was very, very, very nice. Like how you said Michael B. Jordan doesn't get that outside of LA.
Yeah.
I am a higher ranked actor than Michael because I got that shit outside of LA. Speaking of which, I watched Black Panther in a hotel the other day.
You texted me and told me.
It was bad. And I watched it with like a new eye because I'm rating him against the other actors in
the movie.
Even the guy who wound up, the guy from This Is Us that played the lawyer on the OJ show.
Yeah.
Even him playing T'Chaka's brother. Even that, I'm like, he probably would have done better as Killmonger, yo. Yeah. And I really watch it and I'm just like,
There's a lot of skilled top tier black actors out there, male in particular right now, that are spread across like various mediums, cable, regular terrestrial television, movies, shit like that. And it's like, we like Michael B. We like him. He fuck a lot of hoes. I respect it. However, it's like when you talk about like a craft thing as far as acting goes, he's not top 10 with all of these other black actors that are out there. You pointed it out. The what's the guy's name from Get Out that's also in Black Panther?
Daniel Kaluuya. I'd have rather watched him be Killmonger and Michael B. Jordan played his part.
That. What's the movie? What the fuck is the movie that he's in with the meme that the meme that's on the internet where the guy was rapping and he looking at him? What the fuck movie is that? He was crazy in that movie. I think it was the movie with
the movie that he's in where he's looking at someone.
There's a meme like, and he in the gym and the guys from the Cool Kids are playing a role and they rapping. Like they like fuck some work up or something and they rapping and it's a meme where he like staring at them and like he turned his head all the way sideways. But I think that's the movie with
We're talking about Lakeith Stanfield, right?
No, not Lakeith Stanfield. I'm talking about
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
You're right. That's what I'm like, what meme are you talking about?
Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, he do.
It's the movie with Liam. I think it's Widows.
I'm about to tell you right now.
That's the movie, Widows.
Yep. All right. Yeah.
He was crazy in that movie. Like he is all that.
Yeah, Daniel Kaluuya can really act.
He's all that.
And I really was just watching. I'm to myself. I'm like, yo, I could rather watch Donald Glover do this Killmonger role.
He would have smashed.
You know, like it's just so many people who is just like you could have put, and that's the thing where it's like you talking about a $1 billion movie that had a $200 million production behind it. And I'm watching the movie, I'm watching the cinematography, I'm watching the special effects, I'm watching everything that's pumped into this from the the respect for Africa, the respect for like everything that came from and is like, you know, they could have put me in there as Killmonger. The movie would have made $2 billion. It just is what it is.
Yeah, that's a production.
It's a production.
It's a production.
It really doesn't. No one got like a hash on their acting chop John from that. You know, even when it comes down to like the other Marvel Jones, the big dogs that's in that Marvel shit, no one looks at Samuel L. Jackson any different or a better actor because he's the leader in the...
It's literally looked at in Hollywood like that's a different thing.
Right.
Like that's not, like you don't get your acting chops from that. Like these are the type of films that have such a big budget, so much marketing behind them, so much like world building and all of that shit that if this shit don't work, everybody lose their job.
Right.
Like everybody goes on the chopping block. So this shit is going to be successful whether we like it or not. So if we got to motherfucking make Samuel Jackson do 97 takes to get something right, that's what the fuck it's going to be. Like that just is what it is because of the enormity of this production.
So yeah, I watched it. It was just like, he wasn't that good in this joint. But I had fun, like I said, down there running back and forth through the Carolinas, going over to Orangeburg, going over to Spartanburg, going to Columbia, to Met, everywhere. It was a lot of driving and shit, but all in all, it was...
You got to have a car down there. Everything is...
Oh, yeah, like you going down the street. Down the street is like...
4 miles.
Pittsburgh from Philadelphia. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody just... They're just so used to it. Like the big, my man Steve, I was at his house. It was like, yeah, let's go get some lunch. I was like, all right, yeah, where you gonna go? He's like, we go down the street, man, we go down to the complex down the road. I'm like, all right. We came out the road and it was like, turn right for Interstate 77. I'm like, we're getting on the highway? He was like, yeah. I'm like, that's not down the road. Like, that shit is crazy. But all in all, I had fun.
Yeah, that's cool. What's up, man. Look like you had a good time.
Yeah.
You had a good time.
It was ridiculous. What did you do? Well, we know what you got into.
You know what I got into. Yeah. Before that, you probably wondering why we're wearing these nice shirts.
Oh, yeah.
We briefly discussed this earlier on, like weeks ago or whatever like that.
It's the anniversary.
It's the anniversary. It's
the anniversary.
4 years of TRPE.
Yeah.
And
oh, thank you for that.
And a lot of starts, stops, but the important part is we always restart.
Yeah.
And we're here today, 134 episodes of TRPE in the catalog, not to mention sneaker episode part 2s, this, and this. So roughly probably about 136 or 37 episodes or something like that. All of the guest appearances on other podcasts and all of that shit. The fucking the voter drive interviews that still aren't out.
Yeah.
That we still don't take possession of quite yet.
Right.
But yeah, man, a lot of media over the last 4 years, and it's crazy to kind of like hear how you are looked at by your peers. I had the conversation with Wallow not too long ago, like basically through somebody, and then we ended up talking and stuff. And he's down to do the show. We just gotta coordinate it and get it together. I've talked to him a few times, but somebody, a young legend, reached out to him on our behalf and was like, "Yo, I want to connect with my people, TRPE, blah blah blah." And his first response was, "Oh yeah, I know them. Like they one of the first ones to be doing a podcast in Philly. I've been down with their show. They fell off for a little bit. They came back. Like, no, I fuck with them. Like I listened to their shit. So the fact that we was just like straight name recognizable, like off of that, I'm like, damn. Like for as much as we kind of pussyfooted around with this, like a lot of traction has been made, like with this brand and with this show, man. Yeah. And we hot out here in these streets, man.
It was funny because I flew first class down, and Jules gassed me into flying nigger class back. and sitting in the exit row. He's like, no, get the exit row. You get as long as you get row 10, you got all the leg room in the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, it's not necessarily the leg room that I be caring about on the plane. And I was like, I don't want to be back there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I want to see y'all.
If I want to know what's going on behind that curtain, I'll go on World Star. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason for this. So it was funny though, but flying down, like I said, I flew first class. Yeah. So I got an Eco Drive the 2020 version of the Citizens, right? So I had it on, and the white guy was sitting next to me. He was like, "Is that the new Eco Drive?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah, I one of my accounts that I handle is Citizens." I was like, "Oh wow!" So we started talking about watches and shit. Yeah. And I'm like, "This is
nice.
This is why I want to." You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't got to talk about Meek. You know what I'm saying?
We change the narrative. That's about where we sit at.
And as me and him were talking, you could hear a little shit going on. The stewardess came up to the front telling the other stewardess, she was like, you hear the commotion going on in the back, that the people in the back of the plane have just decided that they're going to sit wherever they want, and people are like getting into it about it. And I'm just like, there are numbers on the tickets. This isn't a trolley.
And you can buy whatever seat you want.
Like, this isn't the 36. So it's like your ticket has a number. But what happens is niggas be on standby, and then they get on the joint and they see they man, oh, I'm sitting over this joint. And somebody get on, yo, that's my seat. And so that was going on. Like, she said to other students, like, yeah, they've just decided they're just all going to sit wherever they want in the back. So, and it's just like, how? Like, what?
Like the audacity of niggas. And it's like, why do you want to make me have to bust your head open to sit where I paid to sit at?
So then we get on the plane coming back up. It was funny because somebody, I didn't even get his name because I couldn't see who it was because he had the mask on. Yeah. But he was sitting right behind me and he leaned up was like, yo, that made me sick. Can I get your autograph, cuz? Like playing. Yeah. So the white people who were like around heard that and was like, you famous, man? And I'm just like, no. Like,
no. This is just a derelict from my neighborhood.
Don't spill your beverages. Like, he's just playing. But I couldn't tell who it was. But shout out who I couldn't tell who it was. But it was funny though, because the situation I saw sitting back there, we in row 10. Row 8 is 2 rows, row 7, because you know it's no row 9. Yeah. So, because you're on the exit row. Row 7, the girl gets on and she came to the stewardess who was, because you're on the exit row, it's always a stewardess standing there. People on. She was like, yeah, I don't want to make like a scene, but she was like, the guy is in my seat. And she's like, what seat are you? She was like 7E, which is the middle seat on 7.
That's like the beginning of the coach.
The security, the stewardess goes to him, she said, yeah, she has a ticket with 7E on it. He like, all right, he get up. My man gets up. You would think if you're sitting in the wrong seat on 7E, where are you supposed to be? 7D, 7F, maybe 8E.
He has 77.
Main man turns and just starts walking. I'm like, this nigga, man. I turn around. He walked to like the 28th row of the plane.
Just going to take a bro. Just take a bro. It's like my cousin say, sometimes you got to try your game out. You know what I'm saying? You got to see where your game at.
Yo, I'm just like, this is what I be talking about. Like in the front of the plane is 16 seats. Everybody bickering. Everybody know where they going. It just is what it is.
Take their assigned seat.
But yeah, I flew exit row coming back up, and I will never do that again.
Yo, that reminds me of my fucking cousin one time. This nigga, he go downtown. He like, oh, I gotta go to T-Mobile and pay my phone bill. This is when T-Mobile was right on the corner at 12th and Market, across from the Lowe's where the Wawa is at now, the big ass.
Right.
It was a T-Mobile right there. He like, yo, I gotta go to T-Mobile, pay my phone bill. He like, you know, it's nowhere to park around there. He says, man, he said sometimes you gotta test your game out. He said, I'll pull up to the valet at the Lowe's. He's like, yo, I just checked out of the hotel. I left something up there. I got to go watch my car for me. He said, I go in the Lowe's, go out the side door, walk right to T-Mobile, pay my bill, come back. Oh, man, thanks. They found it. They found my wallet. Have a good day, brothers. I gave the dude $10 and kept it pushing. You got to test your game out.
Yeah. It was, sometimes you just got to, you know? Like, you got to tell people what they want to hear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite shit in life to do, like that situation y'all was in at Stats, if you wasn't with the owner, I would have just walked to the front of the line like I belonged there and then just negotiated my way in because I'm not getting in the line.
Yeah, the line was ridiculous.
I'm never getting in that line. Yeah. I'll stand there and negotiate the same amount of time it takes for the line to trickle in and me could have gone in. I'll stand outside and negotiate before I get in that line. I'm never getting in that line.
Apparently you can cut the line.
Of course.
You can pay to cut the line.
The cut line.
Yeah.
That's me, baby. I'm here. I cut the line at a Future concert.
Oh wow.
I said, what's the difference between? I said, big man, what's the difference between this line with 7 people in it and this line with no people in it? Oh, that's the general admission line. This is the cut line. I said, yeah, we going in the cut line.
Man.
What's the difference in price? $50 a person? Yeah, I'm going in the cut line. Not getting behind these 7 people.
Why do you have to cut at a concert though?
Because it's niggas and it was Echo Stage in D.C. and they just make their own rules.
Yeah, that is niggas definitely make their own rules. Wherever they at.
Like niggas have no like semblance of corporate structure or like how things are supposed to be done. No. NSRP, like shit like that. Like regular, everyday, simple, straightforward concepts that are like the pillars of American economics. Niggas throw all that shit out the window.
I'm gonna do whatever I want.
I'm gonna do whatever I want. I got this Nike account. They saying that I'm supposed to sell them for $114. Guess what? Goats say they own it for $330.
Yeah.
I'm selling them for $380. Yeah. Like niggas make their own everything up.
Yeah, it was a good weekend though. Minus the BS. Life is great. You know what I'm saying? You know how that go.
Yeah, for sure. I finally went and got my car this weekend. Shout out to my man Brian, my man Butter. We grew up together. His Instagram is Mercedes B Sudler, Sudler. Y'all looking to get a Mercedes? They also have BMW at his dealership, Chrysler, a couple other products. But yeah, he hooked me up. Factory ordered my car for me back in the summertime. Finally got delivered. Got shipping delays, obviously because of COVID and all of that shit. And it appeared. I appeared, and now it's mine. And I love the fucking car, man. Like it's everything that I thought it was. Like literally everything. And it's basically like I'm not gonna drive the car every day. I can't. It's too much of like eye candy. And it's,
my homie down in Greensboro, he's got a Z06 Corvette.
Yeah.
And I guess I just didn't realize like because he's a car nigga, and he like he done did suspension work, tuning work. He got a supercharger put on the joint. He got 20s in the front, 21s in the back. So the shit just looks nuts.
Yeah.
And he was like, come on, let's take the joint out. And he started it. And I'm just like, this is about to be ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And riding around in it, it fucked people up. You know, and he was saying how he's gotten to the point where he don't even take it to the deal. Like he's trained himself to do everything on it.
to do all the work on it.
Because he's like, he in Greensboro, so he's just like, you take it to the dealership and you can feel the energy from them you know, what else soldiers say, them crackers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can feel the energy from them. Like, how does nigga get $100,000? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, literally one time he took his John to get his oil changed, and the oil was like lighter than what it was supposed to be.
Oh shit!
And he was just like, after that, it was like,
never
nope.
again.
So he got a whole ramp installed in his basement, in his garage, to like be able to take it up on there and do the work. He taught himself.
No, that's dope.
And he was just like, yeah, like them cars, like. He's like, he's gotten to the point where I drive it like twice a week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, cause it's like you go places and everybody like, you know, you got a big beard, like, oh, what are you're a rapper? Cause he's too small to be a ball player. But it's crazy as shit. Cause we walked out of Midnight Diner the other night and Jules came out and the white guy was like, what team you used to play for? And I'm like, this uncoordinated ass
fucking defense contractor, motherfucker. Racist piece of shit. It's like you said, racism is everywhere.
That shit is, So he was just like, it really is a thing with like not driving
I drove the car yesterday and Saturday. I got pulled up on 3 times by people that I know. Motherfuckers like, yo, I see you with a gram, nigga, you do your thing. And I'm just like, I can't drive this car. I can't drive this car in the city. But I basically bought it for like when I go out of town, New York, DC, Baltimore, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to pull up properly and to reward myself for all the hard work I've been doing the last few years. But that car is not Philadelphia safe ready. My mom is like, yo, please be careful. Like, please be careful. Like driving while black, the haters, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, yeah, I understand all of that, you know, you being a parent and all that, but you know, I got this shit mapped out. Like,
one thing I noticed about like ripping through the South and going around all these different places the other day is like, it feels a little different. You don't feel that like that over you feel a little bit from them.
Yeah.
Them crackers. But you don't, not with us.
Yeah.
Like everybody who was anybody that I ran into the other day running around with him it was just like genuine.
It's
like
love.
Oh, what's up, dog? What's up? Yo, you what you eating? What you drink? You know, it just that
Southern hospitality shit is real.
You know what I'm saying?
Like it's real.
The nigga the other day at the gas station seen me get out the car. He seen the rental shit. He was like, what you in town for? What's going on? Ain't really nothing popping this week. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh no, I'm down here just visiting some fam, whatever. He's like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Where you from? I was like, I'm from Philly. He was like, okay, yeah, I got folks up there in what'd he say? In Lehigh Valley, like right outside of Wilkes-Barre or whatever. He was like, yeah, I got some folks up there, you know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, get my man, what pump you on? I'm like, hey, he was like, yeah, fill my man up. I was like, I'm gonna go get a Red Bull. You know, I'm gonna go get a Red Bull too.
Is this on the tab?
Yeah, and he was like, go get the Red Bull, big dog. Just random nigga in the gas station, just pay for my gas and gave me a Red Bull.
That should be real. It's like, and it's like, that's why, you know, as much as, you know, people, you know, talk shit about like Atlanta and stuff like that, and y'all think moving to Atlanta gonna fix all your problems. Like, Atlanta is Black Hollywood. Like, Atlanta is Black Hollywood, and you go down there and you feel that shit. Like, I remember going down there years ago, like 2013. Me and my man Scrap, and we go down to the joint, and we was going to one of Alex Getawan clubs, one of AG clubs and shit, and we go through the back door, and fucking Rico Love just standing there with his girl, and I'm like, damn, what's up, Rico? Like, what's going on, bro? Like, it's just regular. Like, you see celebrities, everybody, it's like 4 McLarens, 10 Benzes, like it's like regular. Like the shit that you stick out for up north is regular down there.
We went to the which we went to a gazillion sneaker stores. The Shoe Gods.
Okay, I never heard of it.
It's in Columbia, South Carolina, I believe. But we went there, and it's like a lot of little. It's like a nicer area or whatever.
Okay.
And we went there, and we came out, and I hit the automatic start on the Challenger.
Yeah.
And you know that shit. You know them Hemis, they powerful. So it start up, and boy, like walking, like coming through the cars, like, you know, cars is parked, like he walking through. Yeah. He like, that don't sound good, man. I'm like, yeah, thanks. And he walked to the street and got in a reef. I'm like, why was he even? Like, you know, is he trying to be funny?
Like, attention on you, attention on me.
But he walked across the street, got in the reef, and he started. It was a black and tan John. And he started it, and he rolled the window down. He waved as he was pulling off. I'm like, you know, and it was just like, that's just some down south shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Oh, them country
I told
boys
you the
got
first
money,
time
man.
we went down, we sat courtside at the Charlotte game.
Yeah.
And as we was going to the halftime show, they give you these courtside bracelets. My bracelet had went up my sleeve, so I was trying to pull it the fuck through my sleeve. Yeah. And as I was doing this, he said something, and I turned around walking, and my hand like touched the chick ass in front of me, and I was like, "Oh shit, my bad." I wasn't trying. I was trying to grab my bracelet. I wasn't trying. That was a complete accident. She's like, "That's okay, man. Don't worry about it. You know what you don't gotta get all tense, all timid." And I was like, "No, I was just saying like I wasn't being on some like drawing shit, like yeah." And she was like drawing shit, and I was like, I wasn't trying to be inappropriate. In Philly, we say drawing. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Oh, you from Philly?" Did it? And we started having like a whole conversation. It was just like, I got shot by now. Like, damn. I got smoked twice. You know what I'm saying? It's just
easy. The chick tried to smoke you over a hookah before.
Over a hookah, yeah. It's wild, too, being in the airport. Like, when you're flying to other places and then when you're flying back. So, like, flying down, of course, you know, it's people who changed over flights. And, you know, there's people from Philly, of course, getting on a plane. But, you know, people coming from all different places, making connections, whatever. But when you getting on a plane going to Philly, like the Philadelphians. So we walking through the airport in Charlotte, coming back. Yeah. This gate going to San Diego, that gate going to, and we walking through, and I had put my boarding pass was on they had printed me out a John, but I already had it on my phone. Yeah. So my phone was in my pocket, and I took the John that they printed out and just kind of like threw it in my book bag. And he had shit he was carrying, so he was like, "What gate are we at?" And I was like, "I think C10 or C." It said C something. It was 2 digits, C10 or C12, some shit like that. And we're walking through, and it's like San Diego, Fort Worth, Texas, Utah. And as we got to the gate, I saw like mad scarves and Milano t-shirts, and I was
Chinese slippers.
I was like, "Oh, that's the John going to Philly." And he was like, "You sure?" I'm like,
"I'm positive."
You don't. It was like I saw like somebody had on the Mabel Marie puffer, the big John that say on the collar, and I was like, "That's got to be the Philly John," and we were right.
Sure enough.
You know what I'm saying? You can tell Philadelphians.
No, Philadelphians stick out like a sore thumb everywhere. Yeah, in demeanor and in appearance.
And it was like mad, like, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but it was like a lot of chicks holding cracked iPhones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when you and they on FaceTime with no AirPods and shit. And I'm just
they
like,
all got the little square
jaw. The little square to move around their screen because the shit don't work. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that Joe definitely going to Philly, dog. You know what I'm saying? Sure enough, we was
iPhone 5S.
We was at C10. They calling now boarding for group 1. Motherfuckers going up there. Oh, I can't get on yet. Your Joe says group 5.
You on group 8.
So you actually have to wait for a while, believe it or not. You're in our way because we're group 1. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like motherfuckers just doing anything. So all in all, the week was good. Did you keep the other joint?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I still got my Honda, and I had bought a fucking back in October. I bought a 16 Altima. that was gonna be like my everyday car because my lease is like bad. I gotta do some intense negotiations with Honda about the lease status, but because my miles is fucked. But yeah, I had bought that John, and you know, doing niggas a favor. Lesson learned: don't do niggas favors. And you know, the John ended up having a transmission issue. I took it back to the people I bought it from. They fixed the transmission, so that's cool. Then it had a power steering issue. So it was a month fixing the transmission shit. I finally get the car back. Then I take the car to my mechanic. it ends up sitting over there for a month and a half while they do the inspection, fix the power steering, and all of that shit. So it just has been a mess. So yeah, that car is for sale now, and the Honda's back to being my everyday car until I figure something else out.
I tend to not do things with niggas that you like have like small affiliations with. Like if I do anything that involves business with niggas, it's either I don't know you at all, or we fam.
Yeah.
Because if it's just the like, oh, that's my man, because niggas do so much goofy shit that it's like you put motherfuckers in a pickle where it's like, I might have to hit you with a crowbar. You know what I'm saying? Like a nigga we know through gambling he opened up a auto body place. Yeah. Lee got into an accident, so she wanted to get her car, you know, whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to give him the play because he cool, whatever. The nigga literally take the car to another body shop and had them do the work. Like, how the fuck do you middleman auto body work? You know what I'm saying? And we found out about it. It was this whole shit, and it was just like, you know, I'm gonna hit you in the head with something.
Like for sure. I had some goofy.
And that's who Rob was talking about. Was going through all the shit now. Like that's how karma
with the
works.
Flim shit,
it's like that's how it worked, and it just like that's why Rob was telling me like, yeah, he did some nut shit, dumbass shit. Just leave it alone though. Like why even? Because I was really like there. Like that shit had me like genuinely upset. Like dog. Like I came to you. We had a whole like how me and you have conversations about like niggas doing dumb shit and being on goofy shit. We had the conversation, and then I left, and you was like, time to get on the goofy.
I know that nigga said don't be on no goofy shit.
Time to get on the goofy.
But I got another thing for this motherfucker.
And that just left a real.
I took one of my cars before. I remember when I had the Charger, the white Charger.
The SXT joint.
Yeah. I had the white Charger some years ago, and car got into an accident. Whatever.
I like that Charger.
I like that joint a lot. I had peanut butter interior in that joint.
Yeah,
factory
spoiler,
chrome.
The chrome joint. Yeah.
That shit was nice.
Look good.
That car got way too much attention too at the time because it was like, it's not that nice of a car, but it's too nice for a 27-year-old nigga to have it. What the fuck is going on? So I take the car to like basically my lifelong friend to his cousin's body shop. Terrible fucking mistake. Motherfuckers milk, you know, they got 30 days to fix the car. They milk the clock all the way down to the 30th day. And then when they finally do get the car fucking fixed, instead of them leaving it on the property like they supposed to, they go park my shit around a corner somewhere on the street. I got tickets on the car, get a fucking boot on the car, like all of this just nonsense. He ended up having to give me half the money back and all of that. I'm just like, fam, why wasn't my car in your position? Like, why would you?
Yeah, like that don't even make
that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at some point I got to get the car back. I can't get it back if PPA got a boot on it, motherfucker. Like, just silly shit. Like, but that's niggas for you. Yeah, we just go. All these Jones that's done, they just going where the fuck they go.
Niggas sometimes, man, they'll preheat the oven and season it, and then just put it in the oven and leave it in there. Like that's how it be. When it, you know,
burn the fuck out every time.
But yeah, it is our 4-year anniversary.
Facts.
How do you feel at the 4-year mark?
It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like, you know, we've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, COVID slowed us down because we had a hell of a plan for 2020.
Yeah,
we had a hell of a plan for 2020. We basically, you know, we had a quarterly Philly live show date set up, and then we were going to you know, kind of try to put a small tour together, New York, DMV, all of that, and then like all of the shit just like everything got shut down, and then it was like all this wait and see with like, yo, is they gonna reopen these economies, blah blah blah, and then once COVID just exploded, I was just like, yeah, that's chalk. So we got a plan for 21. So now at this point, you can't really plan nothing pre-summer 21. So hopefully summer 21 we can get back on track. We can put like a little tour together, Philly, DMV, New York, probably Atlanta, something to that effect, like a little 4-city live show for the podcast. I definitely want to do more collaboration this year, different type of guests. And I was talking to Sadiq Shabazz yesterday, and we was basically like, yo, because we were talking about like a friend of mine that do music, Louis V. Gutter, they used to be with Meek. He got about to cut some records with Kanye, and like people got wind of the shit, and like somebody with a blog page put it out, whatever, and they like, god damn, Kanye, like this nigga don't do music with, like, talking about Lulu, he don't do the music with nobody, so now he's doing songs with Kanye, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it, you know, how it be sometimes. Motherfuckers be talented and be getting overlooked, and it's an exposure issue, and it's like, if you're not doing certain wild shit that catches that, you know, that upper tier ratchet internet audience, your shit not really gonna travel like that. Like, good news travels slow as a motherfucker. Bad news travel around the world, you know what I'm saying, in a millisecond. So it's like one of them things. So I'm like, yo, basically I made the comparison. He got the same problem. Louis got the same problem that we got. Exposure. Like, yeah, we got a core audience. We got people that tune into us. We make money off the pod. People support us. People fucking, solicit advertising, shit like that. We had the Teddy Riley ad and all of that shit. Like, stuff happens around the show. But it just hasn't gone to where it's like we're in that upper tier of those top 4 or 5 podcasts that people nationally look at. So it's like, in order to get there, I think we need a viral moment and or the right blend of like consistent celebrity guests. And whether we got to jump on Zoom and do it or whatever the case may be, but we've talked about who we want, like Dame Dash, Dr. Umar, like just certain people that we know reach and break that internet ceiling every single time they talk to people because they don't talk that much. And I think that we, with us being an independent black media company, I know that we could probably solicit one, both of them, and if not more people. It's just about framing it right in order to get the proper response.
Yeah, that's how I feel. The podcast explosion has been wild to see.
Yes.
In the last 4 years, to where it's like, it be so many podcasts. I didn't even know some people had. Yeah, it's too many to keep up with it sometimes, and it's definitely going to be the wave for the next 5 to 10, maybe.
When you see like the bigger companies that are like the pillars of American society, like Google and Spotify and Apple and all of that, like investing all this money in podcasting, you know that it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a real thing. So it's decent to see on that front. What is my favorite TRPE moment? Definitely the original social media show.
Oh,
with
that's the first thing I thought of.
With AO and Nerd was funny as shit. That was definitely
it was like 6 hours.
Yeah, and everybody was drunk. That was definitely fun because it really had no purpose.
It was
the show went off the rails like 8 minutes into the episode, and
AO started calling people.
Yeah, it literally got to what bitch do you want to hit on social media? Like it made no sense. It was just ridiculous.
It was no framework to the show whatsoever.
My favorite interview out of all the people we've interviewed, probably gonna shock you. It's Lawyer Kev. That's my favorite.
You said that a few times.
That's my because it was when I listened to it, like I listened back to it, and I'm just like the 2 hours. It was just so. Yeah. It was crisp. Yeah. It was like he was open enough to tell his story, to tell about things that happened to him. He wasn't like. He didn't get on there and be like, I was a kingpin. No, nigga, I got pistol whipped. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got, niggas was making me sell this and do that and telling you what really went on and then realize like, yo, this shit ain't it.
Ain't for me.
Like, like he wasn't afraid to be like, yo, this really ain't for me as a career, as a life. Like, I like putting on European cut shit and talking crazy to people. Like, this isn't it.
This isn't going to work. This is going to derail my plan. The plan will be derailed if I keep getting in the shootouts with these niggas.
Yeah, like, so yeah, that's probably my favorite interview. Funniest moment is BF, man, with the Hitler.
Oh, Hitler was right.
That shit was insane. Hitler was right. The first BF interview where I kept saying I'm sorry.
When we was at
when that was the Black Panther episode, yeah. And he kept saying, I was like, I'm sorry, man. Because I kept fucking with
Mitch.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that was funny as shit. We got a couple that are just like, I can't really pinpoint them right now. You know what I mean? Definitely, we brought Pua to the forefront.
Definitely brought Pua to the forefront.
We brought Pua to the game. Speaking of Pua, there's more Pua.
Pua is about to spin the block.
Pua is, I didn't get the whole, let me go into it.
Pua is about to spin the block. Allegedly, it's supposed to start tomorrow, possibly tomorrow. But in the bill that Trump ratified, it's set to start sometime in January. It's just about disseminating the information to the state governments on how to administer the program and what the stimulus amounts are going to be. So Joe Biden is saying, in addition to what Trump did, as far as like with the extension, I think it's a 10-week extension or something like that. Mm-hmm. He's saying in addition to that, they're going to be a $400 a week stimulus also that the Fed is contributing.
This is just the poor people.
Just the poor people. Poor and regular unemployment, I believe.
So when will we get money? The people who work.
Never.
Okay, cool.
I know.
I just got to keep making do
I
with
know
what
somebody that's a.
what I get every
I know
week.
somebody that's
Okay,
an essential
cool.
worker working in a hospital. They was supposed to get like an extra $20 an hour backdated in their checks for like a certain period or whatever. She said to this day they still never got the money.
But the nursing thing is different though, because like a lot of them, they're like quitting their jobs and going to do like contract work.
Yeah.
I was talking to one girl. She was a registered nurse at a hospital, been doing that for 8 years. She quit and took a contract in, I want to say LA. And she like, I'm gonna do that for 6 months and then just take the next year off.
Yeah.
Like they're making that much money.
They're making exorbitant amounts of money. Like there was a time where they had listings for trauma nurses in New York, like $225 an hour.
Oh.
Like crazy shit like that.
The one girl I told you, she took a contract for fucking $6,500 for 3 days. Like,
that's nuts.
it's nuts. $2,000 a day. That averages out to what you said, though.
Yeah.
$225 an hour. Yeah, about that. You working 12-hour shifts. Yeah. It was $6,500 for 3 days. I'm like, I'm about to just make a resume.
I was watching.
Walk in there like Joker. Oh.
I was watching.
Fucking Dark Knight.
I was watching Catch Me If You Can last night. Shout out to Leo. Leo's one of the 5 greatest actors of our generation. But I was watching that last night, and he was he had got hired as the supervisor for the ER, and they needed him to do some surgery.
The leg was fucked up.
Like,
he was like standing there like,
what do you think?
Like grimacing.
Yeah, he's like, what do y'all think? He's like, we should do this. Yeah,
I concur.
And he went in the room and threw up.
Yeah.
He's like, what do y'all think?
He was like 17. Yeah, wilding the fuck out.
Yeah, making fake resumes is dope until you got to actually like do something in the job descriptions. Get exposed.
Frank Abagnale, that's a wild story.
That's a true story.
True story. Man got a job. He was sentenced to fed time. They said, why don't you just work for us?
Just work for the...
Just run the check fraud department. Like, what?
They busted that motherfucker in a...
He was in a fucking...
in France, in a fucking... He had the check printing press.
What do they call them when you're in like a zone with an ink press? What's the technical term for them? Like what would be like a Kinko's or what? I know it, but I can't think of the shit. Yeah. But he was in one of them and fucking
like 9,000 checks.
Shit was shooting all over.
9,000 Pan Am checks.
Leo was crazy as fuck in that movie. But yeah, no, I'm still waiting for my shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like some essential pay. You know what I'm saying?
I had to. I still haven't gotten my stimulus yet. I filed 1099, so I forgot to sign my form for 19, so they sent it back to me. I sent my taxes out in April. I didn't get my form sent back to me until November. So then I send the form back to them December 15th or whatever like that. So now I gotta wait for them to file it. And then hopefully they send me my 1,800, the 12, and then the 6.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's like you would have thought like by now there'd be something in play where it's like everybody's gonna get something. Everybody.
Yeah. They saying now if you don't get your stimulus, there's like a tax credit you can take advantage of for your 2020 taxes, and then you'll get it through that on your tax refund. And I'm just like, y'all are making people do a lot of fucking work to get money that y'all guaranteed everybody.
I was watching this thing yesterday with a guy, he worked in America, and he was talking about finding out that America is trash. He took a job in Belgium, and he went over there to work, and he was saying how he was reading like the company policies and all the paperwork or whatever, and he got to the part about leave and sick time, and he was like, okay, I understand calling out sick, having a doctor's note after 3 days.
How many days do we get?
Like, it doesn't say how many days we get. And he's like, the other employee was like, what do you mean? He was like how many sick days do we get for the year? She was like, if you're sick, you just call out sick. You're sick. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, but how many sick days do we get? And she was like, if you're sick, you're sick.
It's unlimited.
And he was like, so you don't have a certain amount of days? She was like, no, if you're sick, you're sick. And he like realized like at that point, like, oh, let me get the shirt in it. He was like, he realized at that point, like, America's trash, because it's like, yo, if I'm sick, how the fuck can I lose my job for running out of sick time? And that's a wild concept. Yeah. And I get it, people abuse it.
Yeah, but on the whole, the system itself is broken. There's this whole, and I didn't even put this in the rundown, but let's talk about this. There's this whole debate going on right now about $15 minimum wage, and working class people are losing their shit about it. And I'm like, wouldn't you think that if they make minimum wage $15, that at some point that inflation would adjust to all the other salaries, and that maybe not immediately on that day, but at some point you would get a commensurate raise with where the new economy is now set to.
Right.
But motherfuckers aren't looking at it like that. They like, yo, if a person working at McDonald's getting $15 an hour, it's no way I should be making what I'm making. And it's like, yeah, y'all are upset about it because it invalidates whatever you thought was a good job and you making $22 an hour or whatever. You feel like it invalidates you because now this person that works at McDonald's or this factory or whatever is making similar money to you. Not maybe the same money, but similar. And it's like people are having full-scale meltdowns on the internet about that shit right now.
I mean, it goes back to the old adage of people be so worried about everybody else. And it's like, that's the reason why black people are never going to be able to get into a situation where like we act like the Jewish community, because it's like, how much am I making? Why he making 200 and I'm making 180? Like it's never you're never going to be able.
It's the pocket watching. It's counting other people's money. It's the jealousy factor, and it's like the whole shit of like just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And it's like, yo, what Jay-Z say? You don't know my expenses. I gotta buy bigger plates and more baggies. Like people don't consider the process and what you gotta go through to get what you get, as opposed to this nigga got that, I should have that too. But you not willing to put the work in that he put in.
I say that shit all the time. It's like, if you're not willing to like, the one thing that would make me so upset, and I had this conversation with Steve the other day, when people would see me win a poker tournament or do well at a poker game, to the point where like, literally, if you go on my phone, like I was in it the other day and I would type in like I don't know if you realize now with the new John, like you go to your photos and you hit search and you can type like one word and it'll bring up. So I literally was in my phone the other day and I typed in poker and it brings up like mad poker chip nights. Yeah. And it's like, I'm sitting there and like, this is $4,000 on the table. Like I've had nights where like you go into a game for 500 and you cash out 4,800. Yeah. And it's like, this isn't easy. Right. I almost died. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So motherfuckers will see you win money or do something and be like, oh, show me how to do that. And it'd be like,
this is
like,
8-10 years of hard work and dedication.
Like, do you know how many nights I walked in this motherfucker and got smoked and had to like really question why I was doing this shit? And for like, I called out of work to go play poker. Like, think about how nuts that concept is.
Guaranteed
money. I left guaranteed money. You know what I'm saying?
To gamble.
And be around degenerates. Like, this shit is crazy.
I tell people all the time, I be like, yo, man, like, you know, because I've been flirting with the idea of sports betting and all that shit. And everybody I know that does a lot of sports betting is like, don't fucking do it. It's the worst thing you could ever get into. It's an addiction. You're going to fucking hate yourself.
Well, that's because niggas just be doing anything. Like when you taking prop bets for fucking, you know, Sabonis to score 65. It's like
I saw Joe was like Sabonis over 24 and a half. I'm like, what's wrong with
like you asking for it at that point. But it's like, no, you look at like the shit Ra get into where Ra play like quarters and playing hat, like it make total sense. It's like, yeah, you can really turn this into a viable thing, but you see the work he put in.
Exactly. Ra has 92 fucking computer screens and televisions up in his house.
That shit is like MIT in that
It's literally a lab. Like, he has a betting lab to the point where he works for the Action Network that help fucking set lines and create
like, he don't
action
come outside.
For the country. He doesn't leave the house.
I hit him yesterday, was like, yo, Jules flew in. He was saying, what's up with you? He's like, yeah, I definitely want to see him. And I was like, yeah, well, come outside. He was like, now? And I'm like, yeah, we around the way. He was like, I'm going to hit you back. Just like, Rob,
got work to do. So it's like the motherfucker look at, you know, Rob model and his year intake and be like, I want that, as opposed to he don't sleep.
And Rob was like, that's the point. Like, he posted, I forgot what. When the Raptors was down 0-2 to the Bucks in the conference finals, Ra actually hammered the Raptors to win the conference finals, and he got it at, I think it was like plus 1,400, some ridiculous shit, and he hammered it and he hit it because they won 4 straight. And he's like, that'd be the problem with like posting that one ticket or who you got in the next joint, and it'd be like, it don't work like that. Yo. Like you really gotta like sit and do work, but people just see end results, and they be like, they see a watch, they see a house, they see a car, they see some shoes, they see some sneaks, they see some, and it be
I want that.
Like even when it go to the sneaker shit, it's motherfuckers that stand in line all night. Do you realize you can get robbed? You can get pneumonia. You can get attacked by a coyote. It's all kinds of stupid shit that could pop off. That nigga put the work in to have them sneakers at 8 a.m. on Saturday.
Exactly.
If you not, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
I ain't willing to do none of that, so I'm gonna pay markup.
and that you pay like you weigh. It's like what it is. So it's like there are people who are willing to put the work in with just about anything.
Yeah.
So it's like anything people get, it's like, yo, I kind of deserve it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a whole, the black community, we got to change our relationship with work. We got to change our relationship with money and how we look at it.
And not by work, I don't mean like going to your job every day.
Exactly.
I mean like
just work, period. It
work
could be work
ethic.
about something you're just passionate about.
The work ethic of, not the ethic part of work.
Yes.
Where it's like, I'm going to put the man hours or the time in
Correct.
to learning this or doing this. And I say it all the time with people. People go to college and be having orgies and drinking and smoking and snorting coke and all that, but they still go to class.
Exactly.
And motherfuckers skip. I know people who have literally skated by, like they barely passed this course or this year. Got it the fuck done.
Got it done, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember when I graduated high school and at Central, they give you, you can either get a regular diploma or you can get a BA, a Bachelor of Arts. And they, you had to have a cumulative average of 90 or above to get a BA. And I remember them calling out names, and they called mine for the BA. And all my people from my homeroom looked around and was like, "Nigga, you don't even come to school." And I'm like, I got my work done. I did come to school, and I knew what it took to get what I wanted to fucking get.
My teachers would always tell my parents, like, I got report cards. I'm at that straight A's and straight 3s. Like that was the truth. My teachers would tell my mom, he's brilliant. He's like he like 9th grade. He reads on a college level.
Right.
He does math on a collegiate. My mom's a math teacher.
Yeah.
So play with yourself. You know what I'm saying? But the teacher's like, he's brilliant. He just doesn't shut the fuck up. He doesn't stop talking. So it's like, it's just one of those things where you have to do the work, regardless of how much you don't want to. It's not just gonna fall on you.
You have to do the work. You have to research. You have to have insight. You got to talk to people that did funny, what you want to do.
I was trying to think what the hell I was trying to say, and then like, do you ever do that? Like you having a conversation, but and I'm over here to myself like, what the fuck? I had this joint the other day because I watched it on TV. It was a teacher. I forgot where he was from, but he was a teacher from, I want to say either Chicago or, it was on the Roland Martin show.
Okay.
I forgot where he was from, but he was talking about how teachers are one of the most underpaid professions out there. Yeah. And I sympathize with it because my mother was a teacher. I have family members that are teachers. Mm-hmm. But if you know this, like the oven is hot.
Yes.
I know exactly put your hand on the oven.
You're going to get burned.
You're going to get the
every time.
So, and then what kind of annoyed me was he was like, yeah, you got basketball players out here making all this money, but teachers are underpaid. And I'm like, bro, you should have went to basketball camp. If you know this, you should have put the work in to be a basketball player. Because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I know we like to look at basketball players and think, oh, he's 6'9". It ain't that no more. To be in the NBA, you have to be one of the best basketball players on the planet.
One of the best 500 basketball players on the planet, or you're not making it.
So when you look at a basketball player, you look at somebody like Iman Shumpert. I know we like to think, oh, Iman Shumpert, he just run around after Tiana and he got the high top box, and Iman Shumpert a trash anybody you know personally.
Score 7,900 points on any.
To make it to the NBA, you got to put the work in at a middle school level. Them motherfuckers be straight going to school, leaving school, going to camps that are in whole nother towns. They got their aunt driving them and taking them there so that they can do this camp on the weekend, then going to this shit during the summer, going to Chris Paul camp, going out there to go to the Jordan camp. Them motherfuckers be all over the place. Going to play ball overseas when they be teenagers, playing in this, doing that. Then don't let them get to the AAU shit, or when they get picked up by Oak Hill or one, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
this is not 30
you don't just walk out there, because if that was the case, I'd have been an offensive lineman.
Exactly. It's not 30 years ago. It's not like casual basketball.
No.
It's year-round fucking training, nutrition, AAU tournaments, fucking college preparatory playing against, going to UCLA playing, or if you in the South, going to University of Florida playing. Like, that shit is a real deal thing. Like, these athletes are being born and bred to be fucking athletes. Like, people are going out here, and I'm a basketball player, She a track star. That's who I'm marrying and having kids with because I want to have a basketball player.
I told you at the PCOM Center on City Ave, me and Rex Walters played my two homies that were basketball players in a 2-on-2. My man Mike, he 6'3" and in shape and plays basketball every fucking day. Couldn't do anything with Rex Walters was like 50.
Right.
Couldn't do nothing with him.
Do shit with
Had
him.
me knocking down Jimmy's like a good little role player and shit coming off screens. Yeah, set me up with that. Set him up. Like you can't. When somebody play on a professional level, there's literally nothing you can.
Different.
You don't realize just how much it takes to make it to that. And people look at it and be like, "Oh, they making all that money," and it be like. Well, it's the same reason why somebody goes and becomes a neurosurgeon.
Exactly.
Or why somebody goes and becomes an anesthesiologist. Or why somebody goes and becomes a criminal defense attorney. Kev said itself. Like, dog, my company's billing out at $600 an hour.
Yeah.
For me, the little black nappy-headed lawyer.
I'm the low man on the totem pole, and they billing out at $600 an hour.
Nigga said that Fred Perry, motherfuckers was having him on retainer for 6 figures.
Yeah.
So it's like... This is why people go into...
Dennis Kogan don't come out for less than 6 figures.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, you can't even retain him. Like, he's semi-retired, but it's like his firm, like Petroni and all of them, you can't even talk to them for less than like 75, 80 bands. Like, nothing to talk about.
Nothing to talk about. Master P, didn't he say he had to pay money just to like meet Michael Jackson's lawyer or some crazy shit like that? Like just to meet him.
His manager.
Something.
Yeah, I think it was his manager or his lawyer.
I think it was, I don't want to say lawyer.
Yeah.
But he had to give him like 25 grand just to have like lunch
to
with
have
him.
a meeting because how did Michael Jackson get the deal that he got and how can I get something greater? I need $25,000 for the sit down. This is vital information I'm about to give you.
And you paying for my salmon. Shit real out here.
I need $25,084. Okay. I'll invoice you for the salmon.
Yeah, that shit is crazy though, man.
But yeah, black people got to change their relationship with work and the ethic part of work. Research and understanding fucking money and understanding that having a lot of money don't solve your problems if you bad with money because you're just going to acquire a bunch of bullshit and be broke again. Yeah, we've seen it 1,000 times. Like
the first round of pool.
Yeah, we've seen it every time. That's why I said the pool was a test run for reparations. We fell with flying colors. Yeah. Like it's like, yo, we gonna see if y'all gonna do the right thing with this money, buy some fucking land, buy some homes and shit like that, and don't get it fucked up. Some people did. But because the few that was smart was so aggressive with what they bought houses way above market price. And that's money that they never going to possibly be able to recover if that crib don't appreciate. Motherfuckers was coming to closings with 10 to 20,000 above asking because it was so many offers going in on these cribs in these nicer neighborhoods. My brother ended up paying, I think he got a steal on his crib in Drexel Hill. He paid $7,000 over. His real estate agent, whose job it is to sell you a home, was like, are you sure you want to buy a house right now? Like, the economy is fucked right now in terms of, like, it being, like, a seller's market. Like, the sellers are getting over like a fat rat. People, up in Roxborough, where I used to live at, people on that block, half the people on the block sold their homes during the pandemic.
I can believe
because the money was up so crazy.
One of the Philly realtors, and I don't really get into too much with any of them, but one of them said that every house he sold within recent months went into a bidding war.
Every single one.
He was like, there hasn't been a home where it was like it went on the market, got an offer, they negotiated, came down a little bit, added some of the closing calls, and got it. Every single property he sold has had multiple offers on it. I was like, that's wild as shit.
Because the houses that are, because a lot of people like ceased operations as far as like rehabbing and flipping cribs and shit like that. So the ones that were out there that were available, motherfuckers is getting them Jones on. Oh, Southwest right now is exploding with fucking real estate. I don't know how. I don't know why. Yeah. But my Asian homie, he said that his crib, he just had some appraise his crib. It's up $80,000.
I can believe it.
And he lived right over there, like in that, that Eastwick Penrose corridor. He's like, my crib is up $80K. He's like, I went to Home Depot, bought all kind of shit. I gotta fix the rest of this shit around this motherfucker. I'm trying to get to an extra 100.
Yeah, hell yeah, why not? But I don't know. I want to talk about this murder situation.
We have to,
because it's everywhere. Like I saw it on the news down there.
Yeah,
and I was telling to him and a couple other people last night, and I'm like, it's so ridiculous when you sit back and really look. And I saw it on Facebook the other day, and you ever go on to like your job's Facebook and realize you work with like idiots?
Oh yeah,
like complete morons. Yeah. Like Here we go again, boy.
I don't know what they be doing in here when we not here.
Shit is crazy.
These might be loose as hell.
Yeah, but you work with people who just really aren't like bright. You know what I mean? Main man was walking his dog, minding his business
at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
When I first saw the video, I thought it was way later at night.
Before the video, when I saw the initial story, walking the dog, boxed in by two niggas, shot dead, apparent robbery. And I'm thinking to myself, could it be some around there shit? Could it be some back and forth shit? Whatever. Then I see the picture of him. I'm like, he's not getting into no. Right. He don't got no street shit going on.
This isn't a prior encounter come to fruition.
No, and you see him and you just like he had nothing going on. So okay, he was really walking his dog. Two of y'all, me and you and him and him, me and two people. Boxes him in, one from the front, one from the back. He has nothing on him. I was telling Jules last night, there are nights where I walk the dog, I don't even take my phone out the house. I don't take my wallet, I don't take my key.
Literally every time he's going to have nothing on him.
If you run up on me while I'm walking the dog, I don't even have my keys to the car. I'm literally going to tell you, wait right here, I'm going to go get the keys, you steal it.
Right, you had this motherfucker. But hold on.
Please make sure you get rid of it though. Like,
don't get captured in this car.
Real talk. Keep it. But I got to go get the keys because I don't have them. Yeah. So y'all doing this means, like we just talked about, you want the end result with no work. Yeah. Y'all did no homework. None. You did no laying. You did nothing. You essentially just saw somebody and was like, oh, I'm
either one. Him.
Y'all run up. Y'all get nothing. $0. Yeah. Zero jewelry. You don't even get no Pokemon cards. Nothing. The man has nothing on him. Nothing of value. And then you shoot him and kill him.
Yeah, this is the textbook definition of a senseless murder.
A senseless murder, 100%. So I saw people who I work with like, oh, well, why is this making national news? We had 500 murders. Y'all don't care about the other ones? And I'm like, dickhead. Yeah. Like, I wish there was like a dickhead button to press because it's like, bro, it's not that we don't care about the murders or people don't care about the murder. I think people are at the point now where it's like we've reached a point in the murder crisis here where it's like, enough is enough.
Exactly.
With all of the shit. But this takes the cake because this legitimately, when you got murders going on between blocks or between little, you not saying it's right, but you understand why almost or where motherfuckers is at.
And to take it a step further, in terms of street justice, them niggas that be doing all this killing back and forth and all that, they eventually get killed or go to jail. Like these are not like crimes that don't end up being like figured out or whatever. Good 60-70% of the time, these motherfuckers are held accountable for their actions, either in death or in jail. So it's not a situation where it's like just these guys are just roaming free, just killing a bunch of people. Like at some point, they're dealt with and held accountable, whether it be in the streets or in court.
My thing is like you just to another level of being ridiculous when you run up on this guy and shoot him. So I was telling him, it made me go back to the situation. Remember when a cop got killed in the GameStop?
Yes.
9990. I think that was his badge number. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because it was happening out 22nd and Lehigh.
Oh, 22nd Lehigh. Because there was like a shooting with another cop at like.
Oh no, this was they got rid of the GameStop and they turned it into like a hair store now. Okay. But it was at the Plaza on 22nd and Lehigh. He was actually cool with a couple people I know, but I know his badge number because they put it up on the joint. His badge, I whenever shit like that happens, older folks will always be like, I'm gonna play that number. Yeah. And the old head of my job was like, play that number. It came out straight like 4 days later.
Dang.
9990 was his badge number. That's how I always remember the shit. But he got off of work and went to the GameStop or whatever at Lehigh. He wasn't on no. He was in his uniform, but he was off work. He was going to get a game for his son, and he walked into a robbery. These niggas was robbing a game store with an AK-47, and it's just like.
Talk about killing an ant with a sledgehammer.
It's just like if they offered me $62 for my PS5, how the fuck much money do you think is in this joint? You know what I'm saying? You bring in a PS5, a headset, 2 controllers, and 8 games. They're like, here, we give you $83 store credit. You can go ahead and pick out something. Like, what do you think?
Pick out 4 trial versions of a game.
Like, what do you think is in here? And they see him come in, turn around, and it was a chick who I knew that was like, yeah, man, free the real, free. And it's just like, nah, yo, yeah, he can stay there. Because it's like, you senseless. You doing senseless shit.
Yeah.
So, of course, they apprehended the 2 guys that was involved in this
immediately.
shit.
Then all the conspiracy theory started from the retarded niggas on
They
social media.
put the nigga out there, and my initial thought was, damn, yo, like, life of, like that despair, that it, because he's 20.
Yeah, he looked 37
He looked
years.
38 years old, and I'm just like...
He looks older than both of us.
Yo, and I'm just like, damn.
You need to drink some water. You need to eat some vegetables.
Yeah, maybe a pear. Like how Rick Ross always like pears.
That
like,
nigga look,
I'm serious,
that
dog.
nigga look bad.
They're like a multivitamin. You know what I'm saying?
That
Something. Because there's no reason for you to be like that at 20 years old. And it's just like, here we are again with... where are we at now in the murders? Does anybody know? I can pull it up. Philly homicides.
17.
17?
It says we're down 37% as of the same time last year.
Oh, man, we're doing good. Well, not, good, but,
Comparatively speaking.
Last year, this day, we was at 27.
27.
So, yeah.
So we're down 37% as of...
We're still up past 19, though.
Yeah. And 18.
And 17. And 16. Yeah. So, it is what it is. But just, yeah, when I seen that shit, and I saw it on the news down there.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
shit made world news. This has to be like a death penalty case. Like, I would imagine. Like, this has to be like a death penalty case because just of the senseless nature and the brazenness with which they operated. Like, you have to make an example out of niggas like that so that other goofy niggas like them know, like, that's a terrible idea. Like, even if they were thinking it, like, you got to make the example that, like, this is a super bad idea. And not only am I going to go to jail for life, I'm going on death row. They going to get my ass the needle. Like, and that's the only way to deter this level of outrageous violence is with outrageous sentencing.
I want to know what goes through the psyche at that moment. Like when you run up on a stranger, you don't get nothing. What kicks in that's like, just kill him? That part always blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like what exactly comes over that where you're just like,
gotta go.
Yeah.
And you have to know that in a gentrified area, there's cameras everywhere.
And that's the joint that bugs me out the most. It's like there's cameras all over this joint.
Everywhere.
It's in high definition.
Yeah.
Like no one has realized that yet. Like everything's on camera.
Yeah. I remember my homie went to court. He in jail right now. My man Rasheen from Chester. He went to court, right? They played this nigga 2 videos that encompassed like literally his whole day from drone cameras that were following him from place to place. Like niggas don't get it. Like you are under surveillance everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Everywhere you go, especially in an area, it's $500,000 houses, $600,000 houses around the corner from here. You think y'all gonna just be allowed to just shoot people and just nothing is gonna happen? No, these other people that live here that can afford these $600,000 houses don't want to have to fear for their lives that you're gonna do the same thing to them. So we gotta bang the gavel on you and let all these other goofy niggas around here. Because it's like what I say. Hold on one second. It's like what I say. Niggas is always the last ones to know some shit. So now all the niggas of Brewery Town that's still holding on by a thin thread gotta learn. A
very thin thread.
Oh, we can't be robbing and shooting the people that live here? No, motherfucker.
I've said it on this podcast. That little section, I said it to him yesterday. They got a couple years left of doing whatever they want to do.
They got 3. They might expedite it.
And that's what I said. Shit. Didn't I say that? I'm like, shit like this expedites the process. They've literally changed. There are gated homes on like 27th and Master. Yeah. Now, you know what I'm like? Seriously.
Yeah.
All of that is different. I've rode down 31st Street where the Aldi and the liquor store is.
That shit is a whole nother
It looks
world.
like Beverly Hills. It's a whole different place from what it used to look like. So all of that, as you go, I'm telling you, I've been driving that bus for a while.
Yeah.
When you would get to 29th and Girard, if it was white people on the bus, you would almost be like, hey, y'all ain't sleep back there. Like, because we about to cross Girard. Yeah. Y'all don't go the fuck up here. They all off at Poplar and fucking Pennsylvania Avenue. There ain't nobody going past Girard. Then around 2012, 13, Jefferson, Thompson, Master, maybe Oxford. By the time you get to Oxford, no.
Everything up to that bridge,
right?
We need that.
Dog, to the point now, white folks is on the bus at Sedgley, at Ridge, at Diamond, Dolphin. I'm like, this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
I was at 29th and Ridge. It was like two white, you tell it was like lesbians and shit.
Yeah.
It was two white lesbian ladies walking their dogs at 29th and Diamond as it was dark.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, this shit is like, wow. Like it's
they trying to mirror what they did in Powelton, where it's like there is no violence. You can walk your dog at 4 a.m. You can, do whatever the fuck you want. Ain't nobody gonna bother you. And if they do, we gonna lock them up and everybody they ever came in contact with. Like they want that same feel over there. And
I'm telling y'all, that strip from 29th, from Girard up to Allegheny, they're gonna get the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole joint. It's gonna look like Francisville.
Yeah.
It's gonna look like Ridge Avenue over through fucking what's the street? Francis, back around over to Fairmount. All of that, it's gonna look just like that, where it's gonna be apartment buildings, brand new, those 3 and 4 story homes with the roof decks and shit. Because it's just happening more and more. You can't even drive the 48 or the 33 normally. I was literally saying the other day, because I don't do the 33. I did it every now and I do it for overtime. I did it for OT. I logged into the bus, and when you log into the bus, your detours come up, and it makes a beep beep sound whenever it's a detour. So you log into the 27, you log in, beep, it logs in. You log into the 9, beep, it logs in. Log into the 33 in the daytime, beep, 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 beep. I'm like, God damn, this shit don't go.
Can't go nowhere.
It never go where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
The whole way down 19th Street. You got to turn here essentially, go to 25th just to come back because they doing shit at Diamond. Then you got to come down across Ridge because they doing shit at Montgomery. When you get to Ridge Avenue and you cross Girard, you got to go left at Girard and come back up Francis because they doing shit at 19th and Girard. Then when you come down, they doing shit at Fairmount. So you got to go over to 21st and come down Spring Garden. It's just like, yo, by the time I get done this shit, I'm 8 minutes late. Because they rebuilding the whole stretch, the whole 19th Street, the whole 29th Street. They gonna get it all.
And what's dope to me about Brewery Town in particular, and why I'm not mad about this particular gentrification, is because a lot of young black people came up on real estate deals through Brewery Town.
Yeah.
Pat June, Greg Parker, Big Business came up over that way. Sean Bullard came up doing shit over that way, like hitting licks, like big fucking deals for the last 7-8 years. So it's like the people that were smart got in. Did what they needed to do, cash the fuck out. Or they got in on a fucking apartment building or a multiplex or whatever and kept them motherfuckers and they holding on to it. But it's like, black people have become millionaires off of this area. So I'm not mad at the gentrification because it worked the same way that it worked years ago in San Francisco, where it's like a lot of black people owned them triplexes and quadplexes and all that in San Francisco. And when they fucking moved Silicon Valley there and all of that shit, they got the fuck rich.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They property value skyrocketed. They fucking was able to sell houses, rent them out, whatever the case may be. Motherfuckers, black people got rich. So I'm not mad at that part of it, but it's like, yo, y'all, the rest of you motherfuckers that don't get it, that wasn't a part of the gentrification schedule in the program, y'all gotta know, y'all can't do shit like this because they just gonna indict the whole neighborhood indiscriminately, put fucking police campers everywhere, and scoop all of you niggas up like some trash and sing all up State Road.
Like, whatever happened to the notion of we don't want to make it hot?
None of that.
Like, I remember that when we were young.
Yeah, that
because
shit is
everybody
out
used
the
to be
window.
like on my block at my crib, and niggas would always be like, "Yo, y'all gonna make it hot? Y'all drawing?"
Yeah, niggas are constantly on the internet telling their ops to pull up. Pull up.
Somebody the other day from Chicago made a song dissing 51 Dead
51
Ops.
Dead Ops.
Did you see that shit?
Yes.
He has a video in which he references all the ops that have been dead. I'm just like, yo, this is insanity.
Yeah, this is a suicide note. You talk about poking a bear.
And he ended it with, "I hope I don't get indicted." I'm like, what?
Getting indicted should be the least of your worries. In all
Like,
honesty.
what?
You should worry about somebody killing you on camera.
Yo, 51 Dead Ops. Like, damn.
Speaking of killing on camera, did you see that situation with the young boy Woo Biddy from Philly got killed on live?
I don't know who.
A couple weeks ago, he's a young kid or whatever, like early 20s or whatever. He got killed on live, and allegedly, the person that they picked up for it is somebody that I know, son, 16 years old. Killed him on live. Shit crazy.
16
threw his whole life away. They're gonna send you up, motherfucking. You gonna be on death row. Like, you know, like that's a brazen, blatant murder. Like
on live. Like they saw him on live.
They basically said he on the joint. The boys on the joint. Like, yo, chill out. I'm on live. Da 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 da. Then you just see the gun go off.
Damn.
Boy got killed on live, man. Shit crazy.
Damn.
It's unfortunate all the way around because it's like whatever drove the 16-year-old kid to feel like he had to do that. And then now the end result of it, it's like, yo, most times you're not getting away with that. Like that shit is a brazen, fucking reckless homicide. Like you're not getting away with that in most cases.
Do you realize what happens tomorrow?
Yeah, 100 dropping, 100 pardons.
The next 2 days should be pretty lit.
Oh my goodness.
The next 2 days should be turned.
It's going to be literally like a smorgasbord
It's
of
going to be
content.
it's going to be turned. It's going to be turned. Trump said that he's going to issue 100 pardons tomorrow. I can't wait.
I know he already issued a couple. He got the team out
the
early.
team
he got
is out.
Paul Manafort.
Yeah,
and all
they're all out.
They out already. But a suspected Tiger King is in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne is in the pool. Kodak Black is in the pool.
They said that he hasn't yet issued himself a pardon, or it gave the notion that he will issue himself a pardon.
Yeah,
might have to. The boy with the buffalo skin requested a pardon. I'm serious. Did you see his lawyer? His lawyer was arguing with the boy. It was like he definitely reached out to Trump's team and is asking for a pardon. And he was like, the boy who he was talking to was like, bro, he walked into Mike Pence's office and left a note on the desk. He was like, well, I mean, yes, he was in there illegally and he shouldn't have left, but you understand it's the culmination of everything that happened. And the guy was like, the note says justice is coming, bitch. Like, it's like, that's a threat against the vice president. Like,
that's terroristic threats if I ever seen one.
Like, yeah, like that necessarily, that you don't qualify for like pardons and shit like that.
I'm sitting here like, on what grounds?
Like if Trump pardons boy, it's like, Pence is looking like, because him and Pence are beefing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pence temporarily changed his header to Biden and Kamala. Yo, there was a 7-minute supercut of all these people from the Republican Party flipping on Trump after that shit happened at the Capitol.
When apparently Pence had the power to step in and try to like veto. He needed him to do the thing where it basically files the injunction for when they were ratifying the election results for the 23rd time.
Yeah.
And Mike Pence wouldn't do it. And they said that by multiple accounts and witnesses, Trump said, do you want to be a patriot or do you want to be a pussy?
Yeah.
And it's just like Pence just walked the fuck out like, I'm done with this boy. Like, Trump is a psychopath, man. So it's like you got him pardoning. Is that the right word?
Yeah, pardoning.
100 people tomorrow. And then the inauguration
is
Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm going to take my car to get tinted on Wednesday morning. My appointment is at 11. I'm gonna sit right in there and watch the inauguration with them. They all like Russian and like Polish guys, so it'd be interesting to see what they got to say about
the not SWAT team. What do you call them people? The National Guard.
Yeah,
they were bringing M4s.
National Guard.
They were bringing M4s and M16s and like shopping racks. Like, you have the long shopping racks with all the hangers. That's how the sticks was hanging on. Like, they were pulling in racks of
we ain't gonna have the same shit we had on the 6th, on the 20th.
They showed that an armed group has already started to mobilize in Michigan.
A guy got grabbed up the other day near the Capitol. He had 500 rounds of ammunition and a bunch of guns.
The one boy they picked up had all the bomb shit in his truck. and he was like, oh, it's just shit. Like, it ain't nothing.
I ain't making no bomb.
It ain't making no bomb.
I'm making jambalaya.
Yeah. My daughter got a science project. Fuck is y'all tripping
making
for?
Volcanoes for the 4th graders.
Like, nigga, you got a 170 volt battery hooked up to a chemical bottle. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And a copy of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto on the passenger seat. Oh no, ignore that.
Yeah, they booked Main Man. He had all his bomb shit.
White people is going out sad, man.
No.
Like, they are bugging.
The craziest video of it all, did you see them release the video from when the dude with the buffalo skin actually got into the Senate floor? Mm-hmm. And the cop is like, hey, man, you guys ain't really supposed to be in here. He's like, yeah, we ain't really doing nothing. Main Man has got a buffalo skin with a spear standing up
we ain't really doing nothing.
We ain't really doing nothing.
Except storming a national monument.
The one boy on the floor, he bleeding and shit. He was like, you believe they hit me in the head? Like, what the fuck? And it's like,
You're not supposed to be in here.
The one white lady got maced and couldn't believe she got maced. Like, she couldn't fathom that she got maced. That's the one the little Spanish kid is, like, making fun of everybody, doing the remakes and shit. Like, it's crazy to think, though, because the cops was really on some, like, hey, man, you ain't really supposed to be... Like, imagine us storming the state capitol and a cop being like, hey, man, you really ain't supposed to be in here. Like,
imagine us storming Ruby Tuesdays.
Right. Imagine storming players on Woodland Avenue. Like, how crazy that would
just
be.
ask for 82 fitteds. Get the whole 12th down here.
He said he want everything that we got to say Maurice Malone on it. Like, dog. Like, ain't no fucking way, yo. They stormed the state capitol and was, like, chilling.
Yeah. They
got a joint on CNN that's really good. It's they already did a documentary on the Trump insurrection. Did you see that?
No.
It's on go to CNN on demand.
Okay.
And they got 3 new documentaries. It's crazy how fast they can do a documentary now. They have a documentary on last Wednesday. This shit is nuts. Like, think about that.
That's how much information there is out there.
They got a documentary on last Wednesday already.
Nuts, yeah.
It's called they got a Trump insurrection one, then they got another joint on Kamala, like her whole rise, and then they got another one from. It's another joint on about the state capitol joint, but it's called something else. But CNN already has 3 documentaries out about like what's going on right now. This shit is nuts. But it's just like, yeah, so they've booked, they said they've issued 160 arrest warrants, and they've opened investigations into upwards of 400 people that were there. Because the crazy part is, did you see how they're finding people? Like, people, ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends is hitting the feds up.
Turning them in.
The one chick I saw it, her ex-boyfriend hit the feds and was like, oh, that's my girlfriend. Apparently, she stole a laptop from Pelosi's office and was trying to sell it to friends that she went to college with that are from Russia.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, this bitch is nuts.
Like, you're an incel at this point. Like,
You on some Snowden shit. And her ex-boyfriend hit the feds and
turned her ass.
Turned her in.
Did you see the Joan that they had an interview? It's this young girl. She's like mixed or whatever. Her mom is white. Her mom was a lady that got punched in the face.
I seen that.
And
her
mom,
she TikToked it.
Yeah.
Like, mom, you want to? Cause her mom wouldn't let her go to the BLM Jones.
Yeah.
Cause she was like, oh, y'all are gonna go
violent.
out there and act violent. And she's like, mom, can we talk about you getting punched in the face?
The
TikTok went viral, and that's how they found out that
and
was.
They interviewed her on the national news,
Yeah.
and she was basically like, yeah, me and my mom have been separated from each other for over a year because of our political views and blah blah blah. And I was shocked to see her. That was the lady that got punched in the face on the thing, but she's totally deserved it. And she's been in contact with the girl that punched her mom in the face. Like, yeah, we've talked a bunch of times.
What's up with you, boy? Like, they're gonna beat your mom the fuck up on camera.
Like, what?
Ain't shit. I'm chilling. I ain't really getting in nothing today.
Punching their moms today?
Yeah, that's funny as shit. But yeah, they booking people left and right because people are turning them in on some shit. It's crazy to think like how divided. I saw one Joan, the girl, her mom found out that she voted for Biden, and the mom and dad kicked her out.
Damn.
And she was her first time voting. She was 18 or whatever. She went in and voted for Biden, and the mom and dad found out, and then like she had her mom on camera like freaking out, you know. You're gonna have to get out of this house. I need your keys. And people are all like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So of course, you know, they set up a GoFundMe and shit. Yeah. So the GoFundMe wound up getting like $65,000, and it showed her like moving into her place, and she got a new whip, and she like with a Biden T-shirt on. like life is great. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see that Hotep Twitter is on Biden and Kamala ass this week because apparently they've already shot down the notion of reparations, but they want to give citizenship to like millions of like illegal immigrants and some shit. And people like, see, these are people y'all voting for. Y'all, they prioritizing, you know, people that's not even from here over naturalized citizens and blah, blah, blah. And that's become like a whole thing on social media the last few days, on Twitter in particular.
Yeah, I missed that.
About Biden and Kamala. So it's going to be interesting, man. Like,
do you have any predictions? Like, do you actually see anything popping off on Wednesday?
Nah, I think that they'll try shit in other places.
That like what I think is gonna happen is like bless you. Are they gonna turn up at the state capitol? No. But like You ever notice white bars be like last names? Like McMillan's.
Yeah.
Like they gonna be at McMillan's fucking wild. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like on some like just to kind of like show a force, like y'all can't be everywhere at once, like on that type time.
You know what I mean? Like they gonna definitely be at like the big free libraries in all the little markets and shit like that. But turning up at like Harrisburg and all the like different state, I don't see that because it's just gonna be too much of a police presence, or not even a police presence, a military presence.
Yeah, they with that shit they pulled on the 6th, they kind of tipped their hand to what they really wanted to do on the 20th, and I think it kind of like fucked they plan up. So now they're gonna have to like go to plan B, C, D, E, F, G.
Like it sounds wild, but people died in that shit.
Yeah,
like people,
like 5 people died.
Multiple people died.
Yeah,
like I was watching. the insurrection John, and like how the crowd was like bugging the fuck out, and there's like, you look here, you see the whatever the white girl's name that got shot. She came up and tried to come into the window, and boom, blew her back, and everybody in the crowd was like, oh shit, all right, we going down. Like, everybody out there was like, all right, come on, we going down the other hall, and it's like that's all it really would have took.
Yeah,
couple motherfuckers get popped, ain't nobody coming up that stairwell. No one had guns, they had flags.
You'd be surprised.
It sticks. It just is what it is.
You'd be surprised. You don't even have to hit nobody, but you'd be surprised how much close range machine gun fire will just change a motherfucker plan completely.
Right.
You could just shoot at the ground right in front of them. Like, you know what? This was a bad idea. We're going to go home. Like, nobody's trying to get hit with no 7.62s.
Right.
That shit will change your whole year.
A 5.56 in the leg? Dog.
No, thank you.
You lucky if that thing stay on.
Exactly.
What Jada say? Whatever I hit is coming off or coming out. That shit is real. You get hit with a 5.56, dog.
It's over.
Don't let it be like a rhino or nothing. You're done. Like your artery get clipped. You'll die from a leg shot in that situation. Like motherfucker shoot you in the leg with a chopper that's bigger than a 223. You will lose your leg.
Shit, they was talking about Boosie might lose his leg. Thank God he didn't. Them Dallas niggas said, "Oh, we just killed your man. You pulling up? Okay, watch this."
Yeah.
He was moving right and everything, had all the security in the world. Okay, watch this.
Boosie got a funny ass video. Have you seen him driving the Hellcat with his son?
Yeah.
That shit is classic. That nigga son said, put your seatbelt on. I said, nigga, you put your seatbelt on. I done been in a wreck, nigga. Only one in the car that ain't get fucked with. I'm immortal, nigga. Like that nigga said, I'm immortal. Like, when you use that in a sentence, you definitely shot the
like
fuck out.
Like you a nigga from BR. Like, you ain't immortal.
That nigga said, I'm immortal.
I'm immortal. Shit.
Speaking of Dr. Dre's out of the hospital.
Dr. Dre's out of the hospital. He allegedly hit the studio with all of the Aftermath producers and all that. Somebody had posted some pictures or whatever, saying like Detox 2021. Detox is never coming out, but it's good to see Dre.
No, we're never gonna get Detox.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Dre out the
Detox
hospital.
was supposed to drop in like 06.
Yeah, Dre is so exacerbating as like a producer and a music guy. People don't even go to him for beats no more because they don't want to deal with that shit. No. They just go to him like, yo, just mix. Like we've done the album already. Just mix this, please. They said that he mixed Church for Thugs so many times on Game album on a documentary that they just ended up giving him back the original mix, and he was like, it's perfect. They like, nigga, this is the first mix we gave you 3 months ago. What are you talking about?
That perfectionist shit is crazy with Dre. It's insane. Like, to the point where I don't even want to hear.
Yeah, say this syllable 4 more times.
I don't even want to hear that, John. I don't want to hear Detox.
It can't. I mean, it's out. The lore of it. It can't be. The lore can't match up to the actual product. It's
like
impossible.
At this point, Kendrick's on like his like back 9 technically of like his ascension. Like Kendrick's not ascending anymore in rap. Yeah. So you got Snoop Dogg who's come and went over the hill, Eminem who's come and went over the hill, 50 who's come and went over the hill, Game who's come, and Kendrick who technically. So it's like you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like Snoop Dogg in his prime or 50 in his prime. Whereas like any of them Jones, he could have done Detox in 04, it'd have been a smash with M and Dre, and with 50 and M and Snoop was still lingering around the whole pimp shit. Detox would have been crazy. He could have done it in 2010 with like heavy Game and still Snoop, a little bit of 50.
Kendrick.
And then Kendrick, and he could have done it in like 12 or 13 with heavy Kendrick and what's the other boy? Win.
J-Rock
and all that. He like, you know, whole maybe a couple Schoolboy Q feature. at this point, it's like, do you really want to hear?
Like, Dre, you rich as fuck. Apparently, you have health problems now. Just stay out the studio.
Like
your legacy is solidified. There's nothing Dre can give us that's going to change our mind about his greatness.
No.
You Dre already. You've been Dre 10 different times already. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can really give us that's going to change nothing.
What was I about to say? How do you feel about sports right now?
It's lit, man. Like that. I watched the end of that Chiefs Browns game yesterday. Holy shit, man!
I was telling him, did you see the joint with Stone Cold? That's how a white man runs a football from our longest yard. That's how a white man runs a football.
They fucking Andy Reid. Yo, Andy Reid is my favorite coach. Maybe in the history of the NFL at this point, like
I ain't going that far.
He
Man.
just,
I fucks with Big Red.
I fuck with Big Red because you know what? He always protect his players, and now being as though he got the shackles of Jeffrey Lurie and Joe Banner off his back, he don't coach scared no more. He just drop his nuts every chance he get. This motherfucker dug up Chad Henne from the grave. I didn't even know Chad Henne was alive.
Somebody was like, damn, I didn't know Chad Henne was in the league. This motherfucker put the asterisk and was like, alive.
Like, I haven't heard of Chad Henne in 10 years.
I'm like, what? I'm like, who the fuck did Chad Henne play for?
The Jets.
And my homie was like, the
and
Jets.
Dolphins.
Huh?
And Dolphins.
No, but he was like, the Jets. He was like, remember it was like him and Vinny Testaverde? I'm like, nigga, that was the 90s. No fucking Vinny Testaverde. I'm like, what? I'm like, ain't no fucking way Chad Henne.
It was him and Quincy Carter.
Yo, him and Joe Theismann. I'm like, ain't no fucking way it was him and Vinny Testaverde. He's like, it was one of them niggas, man. He was out there with the Jets. But yeah, Chad Henne came in yesterday.
Came out, ran a motherfucking naked bootleg.
Yo.
They robbed him on the first down. On that shit.
Did I tell you?
Robbed him.
Dog.
Robbed him on the first
I thought
down.
he had the
I
first.
thought he had the first. And then this motherfucker runs another naked bootleg screen pass to Tyreek Hill and iced the fucking game.
Dog.
Chad Henne.
Chad fucking Henne. I was fucking screaming yesterday. I seen this shit.
That's how a white man runs a football.
That's a perfect clip. That's how a white man runs a football. What the fuck? Chad Henne definitely came in and scrambled for 15.
That shit
with the game on the line.
That shit was unbelievable, man. Buffalo, the other team that advanced to the AFC Championship, they might fuck around and beat Kansas City, man. They're really fucking good.
Depends on where Patrick is at.
Depends on where Patrick is
Depends
at.
on that.
They might win that shit. They got right now. They got Green Bay has the best odds to win a Super Bowl, 56%.
They had it already.
Yeah,
they had it coming in.
Yeah, so
like I told you, Ross said at the beginning of the season, he took Aaron Rodgers to win the MVP.
Yeah,
he took, and he got that at plus 1,100.
Yeah,
he got the Packers to win the NFC at plus 1,400, and then he had the Packers to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,200. So he got all of them at plus more than 1,000. Aaron Rodgers now for the MVP is a negative 6,200. Like you got to put up 6,200 to win a bean for Aaron Rodgers on the MVP.
Goodness gracious!
So it's like, yeah, you got it at plus 11.
It just goes to show that Aaron Rodgers is probably the greatest quarterback of all time because
I ain't going that far.
I'm going that far.
It's Brady, man. It's
well, no, but that's accomplishments. Brady can't hold a candle to Aaron as far as his talent goes.
Yeah, he can.
No, he can't.
Yeah. Brady, he got more game-winning drives than he got losses in in playoffs. Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, I can
think about how clean just this. For the years, the catch, and it's so fucked up that like that year he got hurt kind of hurt him as far as like his rep because Matt Castle came in and the Patriots went 11-5. Yeah. So everybody's like, oh, it's the system. It's Belichick. Yeah. It's the system. He went to the Bucks, and while they became top heavy with their receiving talent, Mike Evans, they picked up AB, old Gronk came back.
Yeah.
He went to the Bucks, and for all intents and purposes, the coach is giving him like his ass to kiss to a certain extent, even down to the whole AB situation where Brady's like, I really want AB in the what's their coach name? Aaron is like, I want no fucking AB in the locker room. That it's just like conflict.
Aaron is a Colts guy,
right? So it's like, yo, Brady there now. I don't know if you watched the last 5-6 games. Brady's been he's been outrageous. And
I haven't really watched it, but I've
and it's
seen
like,
the highlights.
Look, here we are again, where now Brady, he got 14 conference title games. That shit is scary.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, we about to see. He done put Breeze.
Aaron Rodgers
I
about
told
to
him
put
they gotta take Breeze out back and shoot him. It's time to put him out his misery.
All that may be cool, them 14 and all that. AR about to put him in his motherfucking place.
I mean,
week.
who do you think is a better team, the Packers or the Bucks?
Packers.
So it's like,
but here's the thing, Aaron is ultimately like he's like the LeBron of the NFL. He could arguably be MVP every year he's healthy. He could be MVP. There's an argument for
I'm not denying that, but how many MVPs do Brady got? 6?
No.
Hell no, not even close. Hell no, you just made that shit up. Super Bowls he got 6. He ain't got no damn 6 MVPs.
3 regular season MVPs.
How many does Aaron got?
I think he's got 2 off the top of my head.
2, and he about to get 3. You know what I'm saying? And it's
how many Super Bowl MVPs do Brady got?
Like 4 or 5.
That's why I know that wasn't tripping. They were saying he had
4.
6 or 7.
Yeah, 4.
They were saying he had 7 MVPs. Maybe I just saw.
But they combined them.
Yeah,
That was some. That's an ESPN stat.
Because the other day
MVPs.
they had Drew Brees and Brady next to each other, and they combined all their regular season and playoff shit, and it was like they're number 1 and 2 in like everything.
Yeah.
And it was showing like passing yards, touchdowns, attempts, completions.
Rodgers has 2.
2. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's about to get his 3rd one.
Yeah, 2 what?
Regular
Season.
Okay, yeah.
And
Like-
the Super Bowl.
His 1 in Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I thought they won 2 Super Bowls.
No,
No, not Rodgers. Only been in 1.
only been the one.
Ah.
They beat Arizona to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
It's
wouldn't.
like they've outside.
So if you had to do a top 5 quarterbacks of all time, you would put Aaron Rodgers at number 1?
yes.
I mean, I could respect it. I would put Brady at number 1
Because of the fact that Aaron Rodgers never had no help. Like he's never had a receiver drafted in the 1st round.
I get that argument. Brady literally made receivers. Like he built these niggas. Like he built Wes Welker.
for sure.
He built Gronk. He got old. Think about it. Randy Moss. That wasn't Vikings Randy Moss. That wasn't even Raiders Randy Moss. He got old Randy Moss and broke the touchdown record and went undefeated.
For sure.
So it's just like Brady will make. He put his ass in the slot. Nigga, you gonna catch 8 passes for 122 yards.
No,
He did it. He think about this. The year, and this is what made me think Brady was absolute gold. The Wes Welker went to the Broncos, Gronk got hurt, and Aaron Hernandez got booked for killing niggas.
Yeah.
He lost his whole wide receiving staff. He threw for 3,500 yards that year. He had through the 3,500 yards. He had like fucking I forgot how many touchdowns, and they went 12-4 and won the division. And it's just like you really could put whoever to the point where all of them were gone, and he straight had Amendola, Edelman. Like Edelman has a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
So it's like Tom Brady will put you in the fucking spot and make you the
But
bull.
I think it's also something to be said for stability of an organization also, because you look at the fact that he never had to switch coaches. He pretty much had the same offensive coordinator his whole career other than like 2 years.
But is that your fault, or is that like
you're blessed in your situation? But Aaron Rodgers had this dumbass coach, this nigga that's past his prime. Like shit like that matters, and he's still going out there putting up 4,700 yards.
I mean, don't get it fucked up.
He routinely does shit that I've never seen before as a quarterback.
I don't know.
Routinely does shit I've never seen before, and he never throws interceptions.
I've seen Tom Brady come back from 20 down in a Super Bowl. And it's like, you talk about shit that's like never been done. Like the largest deficit in Super Bowl history, that was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even the joint where they lost to the Eagles, he set the record for throwing over 500 yards. So it's just like, Brady is just, I understand the argument. There's nobody else you could put up there, maybe Drew Brees, if you want to be on some Brees shit.
Reaching with the Breeze shit.
Just because he got the records and he's so small.
Yeah.
Like like they said he had to stand on his tippy toes at the combine to be 6 feet.
That's crazy.
Like, that's wild as shit. That's essentially, it's like Dev Tate. You know what I'm saying? Throwing 80,000
Being an elite
passes.
quarterback.
That's wild as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking nuts when you think about it. So it's like, yo,
I think it's easy.
I'm long past Peyton.
Yeah,
I was never a crazy
my
Peyton
thing
guy.
Is, I think it's easy to give it to Brady because of all of the wins and all of the accomplishments and all of that. But Aaron Rodgers is a superhero. That motherfucker is different. And when he got,
I think Brady's a superhero. Yeah,
we gonna find out next week.
You can't take that into
You
consideration.
can, because
Brady's been to 9 Super Bowls.
Belichick just got exposed that maybe he needed Brady more than we thought. Brady might get exposed next week that Maybe he needed Belichick. Maybe they needed each other.
Yeah, but
maybe
Phil Jackson needed Mike, and Mike needed Phil.
I get all that.
Shaq and Kobe needed Phil.
Phil got exposed in New York. Nigga, you really don't know what the fuck you talking about when you ain't got Kobe.
These
Shaq.
niggas don't know their shapes. I say triangles, 4 niggas in a square. The fuck you want from me? So it's like I'm not gonna take next week's game as like a basis off of who's the better quarterback all time. I can't do that. Not when somebody's has 6 Super Bowl championships and came back from the largest deficit in Super Bowl history and stepped in as a replacement and won a Super Bowl. It just, you talking about shit that no one else has done. And that's where it's like, I get the whole argument with Jordan and LeBron at times, where it's like, I personally think LeBron is the best basketball player ever. Yeah. But I can understand when you talk about like, what it meant to be that person in that moment for everyone else. Right. I get the Jordan shit. Where it's like, Jordan made the game about sneakers. Like, Jordan was straight getting fined for wearing his joints. Right. To the point where now y'all allowed to, like Allen Iverson. That's why we can go in this. I don't know if you've seen it. They had a Mount Rushmore of basketball players. And it was the 4 most influential players. And it was Michael Jordan, Kobe, AI, and LeBron, I think, on the original joint. And then people started changing it around. And somebody took...
I don't think AI was on the original one. I think that was the issue.
No, AI. I think AI was definitely on the original one.
I feel like AI wasn't on it.
AI wasn't on it.
Yeah,
you're right.
People started.
It was Steph Curry, LeBron, Kobe, and Mike. And people was like, because somebody got to the point where they took Kobe off and put Tim Duncan. And so I was like, all right, you know, and I'm just sick of y'all now. And it was like, Tim Duncan is great, but he's not influential.
I was listening to, not to interrupt you, 10 seconds. I was listening to a Bill Simmons podcast. He had Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson on there, and he was talking about
They got a good podcast.
They got an excellent podcast. Yeah. He was talking about Kobe versus Tim Duncan. He was like, I just think Duncan is better and this and this. And they both were like, no, it's Kobe for this reason, that reason, behind the scenes, da-da-da-da. He's like, damn, y'all just obliterated me and like you might have changed my mind on this whole thing. And it's like, yeah, if you think Tim Duncan is a better basketball player than Kobe Bryant, you're a fucking moron for a lot of fucking reasons.
I can understand why people would say it fundamentally.
Right.
I can understand that. But like as far as the dynamics of being a basketball player,
it's night and day.
It's like
Kobe averaged 35.4 in a dead ball era where the fucking greatest the greatest defensive team, the Pistons the greatest defensive basketball team of all time were holding teams to 71. And he averaged 35.4 a game.
Kobe went to the Rucker and straight told the street ball niggas how to play in the rain. Like they was like, we got to get you out of here. He's like, no, I'm gonna show you what you do. I'm gonna show you what you do. I'm gonna show you how you play in the rain. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, like just that shit alone. But it's funny. I remember Nick Wright was saying, and it's wild before Kobe died. Like, and I love Kobe. You know, Kobe's my guy. But that argument for the best player ever, it wasn't Kobe and Mike. Right. It wasn't. He said it on there. He was like, the argument that people wanted was Kobe and Jordan. The argument we got was Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and Duncan. And it's like, yeah, I've heard that shit a couple of times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But when I saw that Mount Rushmore shit with the influential players, and I'm like, it's easily Jordan, AI, Steph Curry, and if you want to be technical, it might be like maybe a Kareem or some shit like that. But I wouldn't put LeBron or Kobe up
I would put Kobe on there because it's
I'm going to tell you why. Kobe's... He took a lot from Mike. Now, granted, Kobe became the OG to like the DeMar DeRozans, the Devin Bookers and all, and the Kyrie Irvings and all of them. He became their OG. But as far as style influence, they weren't trying to look like Kobe. As far as like influence off the court, they definitely weren't trying to look like Kobe. And it's like, when I look at Steph Curry, there's no way I'm doing this without Steph Curry. Impossible. I don't give a fuck who want to argue about it.
Yeah.
Steph Curry changed the entire format of basketball.
Yeah.
No one has ever done that. Even Shaq being as dominant as he was in the post, they didn't have the defensive three and the key until 8 years later.
Exactly.
With Jordan, with AI, with the crossover, he changed the palming call to where that got exposed or whatever. And they had to eventually enter the zone defense for motherfuckers like him and Shaq. But Steph Curry almost single-handedly made it to where every team went analytical to where the corner three is worth more than a layup. We not arguing that shit ever.
I was listening to one of Bill Simmons, somebody on the Ringer the other day, and they were basically saying how the NBA has changed. They said like 28 out of 30 teams in the league shoot over 33s a game.
Yeah. The Rockets did 27 and a quarter once. 12 minutes, my nigga. We getting up 27 of them things.
Like,
we only gonna make 5 of them. But we getting up 27 of these shits.
What's crazy about that is that Daryl Morey's system was layups/dunks and threes. They just abandoned the layups and the dunks. We just shooting all threes.
Carmelo came off the bench and took a 12-foot mid-range jumper and had to say my bad to the team.
Like, pussy, you know where you at?
Like, what the fuck is you doing, dog?
Fucking mid-range jumper.
What you drinking some Hypno after the game, nigga? This ain't 04. The fuck is you doing?
Drunk off that Nuvo,
Dog.
nigga, you playing games.
So it's like Steph Curry just completely changed the game of basketball, just
Hands
all the
down.
way around. Allen Iverson, to me, as far as the style side of it, as far as what the players look like, how players conduct themselves, how they act, how they move, there's just no
He
one.
made players want to be less of a corporate entity and more just individualistic as far as like who they were and expressing themselves and stuff like that. And he wasn't always right. He was wrong a lot of the fucking times, but he was Chuck and he was unapologetic and we loved him. And we seen a nigga eat 52 wings and drink 31 Coronas and go score 60. Like, it's just certain shit to where it's like, you got to take the good with the bad. And his good far outweighed his bad.
Yeah. So I got him on there. And then Jordan,
For obvious reasons.
do you have a pair of Jordans? It's like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
At this point, it's about how many pair do you have.
Right.
Like,
So after that, it's like tomato, you know what I'm saying? Cut the deck with the rest of them niggas. You could put whoever you want in there, but I know AI, Steph Curry, and Jordan have to be on that joint. And I think the rest of it is just nostalgia. Who do you fall? What falls under what umbrella? And where you was at when your mom, got her divorce nullified? Whatever the fuck went on in your life. But it's like those three for me have to be on there. Do I think LeBron is influential? Not really. I don't
because
think
I think he's too much of a unicorn to be influential.
like there's no one else that can do or be
mirror what he does.
Right, and that's kind of how I looked at like Kobe, where it's like he did mirror Mike. He did. So it's like he didn't bring his own thing to the game the way Mike did, or the way AI did, or the way Steph Curry did. Like his game they got a mashup where it's literally him and Mike doing the same exact plays, the same exact
like
way.
With Kobe and Tatum now too.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like, they took from Kobe. Don't get it fucked up. Tatum, Kyrie Irving,
AD.
They're all Kobe disciples. Don't get it fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's because Kobe became the OG of his generation and outlasted. He outlasted Garnett, Duncan, Dirk, all of them.
I think with Kobe, with his influence and his legacy on the game is his work ethic and his intensity, and the fact that like you couldn't outwork him. And everybody's got these like Kobe workout stories and Kobe shoot around stories and shit like that. And that's what he brought to the game in an era where the world was starting to change, where there was more media coverage, because Mike was the same way, but it wasn't no media cycle or whatever like that to cover the type of shit that he was doing. And now with Kobe, he had the beginning of the internet and all of that shit to where his story could get told a little bit more.
The Mamba shit.
And it endeared people to him because they looked at him not just from the perspective of a great basketball player and a hard worker, but as like a great father and a husband and all of that shit too.
So
Colorado aside.
Yeah, Colorado aside, definitely. So it's like, you could put anybody in there in that fourth spot that you really want to. I get it. I personally wouldn't put LeBron. I wouldn't put Kobe. I would probably either put Magic or Kareem, because Magic brought the running gun and the big man pushing the rock shit. You know what I'm like, the point forward aspect of it, to where he can go play center and go play power forward, but he's a point guard. So it really just boils down to who you want to put in there in that spot. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about Harden and KD?
Man, listen, Harden finessed the whole universe.
Come on, man, what type of buddy love shit is this nigga on? How he lose 30 pounds in a night?
In a night. People in the comments talking about, because I get really bloated sometimes when I eat the wrong food. And I'm just like, this nigga looks like, he looks svelte. Like, he looks like he worked out in the springs in Iceland. Like,
shit.
This motherfucker look
Nigga got in
amazing.
shape in a night.
I said the other day, I said, all this solidifies is that Lil Baby, 42 Doug, and Rallo Rodriguez are the best strength and conditioning team in the NBA.
Is crazy, dog.
This motherfucker been drinking
Who the
unlimited.
fuck knew Lil Baby was this good at training?
Hey, no, you want to see what you want to do is you want to mix the 42 with the Gatorade, and then that's going to get in your cells. And
you going to have fucking Nurkic can't stay healthy. He going to have to call Ruggs and figure out what the fuck I got to do.
I need to do say workout plan.
Real
this shit is crazy.
Them two together is nuts.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's scary.
And the fact that Harden basically came out there and said, oh, y'all think I don't want to pass? And he's just like, he's just flicking the ball all over the fucking place and landing. And I'm just like, this not fair. I already said just with KD and Kyrie, they was going to sleepwalk to the finals. If Kyrie don't do no dickhead shit, parachute off a cliff, smack into it or whatever, like they gonna be cool.
Somebody the other night was like, "Yo, the Harden and KD is playing so good. What if Kyrie comes into the stadium like Fan Man during the Tyson and fight? They can parachute." I was like, "What, man?" Because he was like, "Just imagine Kyrie, because that's some Kyrie
That's the
shit.
most Kyrie shit ever.
Like,
That
yo,
would be
Kyrie
peak
the
Kyrie.
fuck nuts."
Shit, Matt Barnes flat out was like, yo, trade Kyrie for depth. Like, I don't even want to see him on this team. Like, don't even let him come back.
Dog. The funniest
Kyrie
tweet
might get traded to the Raptors.
Who did they play in that first game the other night?
The Magic.
The Magic. Somebody from Orlando tweeted, was like, at FBI, just so y'all know, James Harden was at the coup on the state capitol last week.
That's funny.
I was like, what? Because he had like the triple-double almost at halftime. And the tweet came out at halftime, like, yo, just so y'all know, James Harden was at the coup last week. I was like, yo, what the fuck, man? But yeah, them two together,
it's unfair.
It's LeBron and AD.
It's like James Harden, for as much shit as we give James Harden, we know he an all-time great scorer and all that shit, and he a stat pattern and all that. But for as much shit as we give James Harden, he literally came out and played a whole different way than the James Harden we've seen the last 6 years.
Yeah.
He's not doing the stupid free throw shit and all that. Like, he's just playing basketball. They're like the Warriors on fucking steroids.
I never seen a 7-year rope-a-dope. But what if? But what if this was the ploy the whole time?
Yeah, like what if James was secretly the MVP every season for
Yeah.
the last 7 seasons?
To get y'all to like devalue me and let me link up with like another megastar.
This shit is nuts, man. It's crazy.
Bad for business, man.
They're going to run through the East.
And it's fucked up because the Sixers have been playing good.
It don't even matter.
Nope.
It don't even matter. And Stephen A's argument was for why you got to keep Ben Simmons is somebody got to guard Kevin Durant.
Remember when we was at the red light? We was coming through Uptown Charlotte the other day, and I was like, "Did you not see that post?" It was like, damn, Brooklyn's gonna be unstoppable. It was KD, Kyrie, and it was Mark Henry. But they put Brooklyn on his wrestling uniform. I was like, yo, I almost crashed. I was laughing so fucking. He was like, "The fuck is wrong with you?" Dog, they put Brooklyn across his wrestling uniform. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, dog.
They had another
Dog.
one. After the game, they had another one that was like, damn, Brooklyn's going to be unstoppable this year. It was KD, regular James Harden, and a ghost.
Yo.
Kyrie was a ghost.
Like, yo, that team really insane. But it's like, yo, they dead ass got like 3 of the best players in like basketball history to play on this one ass
like
team.
Under 31.
It's nuts, man. It's fucking insane. I feel bad for, like I said, the Sixers,
The Bucks.
the Bucks, because it's just like,
Bucks like, yes, we got Jrue Holiday. Shit don't matter.
don't matter. Like, Giannis isn't good enough.
James Harden is like running, like he's quick. Like, I'm confused. He looks like Arizona State James Harden. Like, I'm confused.
He looked like no beard James Harden.
Yeah.
Like off the bench James Harden.
Like, this is 30-point triple-double in his debut, 14 assists.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. He fucked us all up.
I think it's crazy. Like, he literally had to been wearing, like, a flak jacket.
That's what somebody was like, I think he had on like a bodysuit. Like, because it don't make sense.
It's impossible.
It doesn't make sense. There was a computer, like somebody who, like, I guess he clearly worked in computer Jones at some type of shit with computers where they do all like the trickery and shit.
The CGI and all that shit.
When they was doing the shootout the other day, he like went to do the layup and he did the layup and like went to run back in the joint and he like ran past what's the big boy who's on the Rockets now, just got the $40 million contract?
Christian Wood.
Christian Wood.
Christian Woods. He like ran past Christian Woods, and as it came past Christian Woods, it was Rick Ross in his uniform, like running back in the line. And I was just like, yo, motherfuckers is good as shit with the internet now, dog. And it's just like, yo, he was huge for a week. He was big as shit.
For shit, the season started, December 22nd? He was fat as shit.
Yeah. Overnight, that nigga got in shape. Came
Niggas
out
in peak physical condition.
30-point triple-double. Like, I don't know what the fuck he did or how he did it.
A 7-season rope-a-dope. Man, talk about playing a long game.
some type of weird ass body flush or something. Because it's like no bullshit. Like he lost like a good 10 to 12 pounds.
He might have went and got smart lipo or something outpatient.
Something crazy.
That shit is nuts.
It's insane. But yeah, they're gonna be very, very difficult to beat.
Yes, 100%.
And they still kept Joe Harris. Did you see the shit with Levert?
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Mass on his kidney.
I'm
That's
like,
horrible.
if the trade don't happen, do they find that shit? Because how the fuck do they find it the day after?
Because he had a physical.
Crazy.
And that's why they say always get a second opinion when you're dealing with doctors and all that, because it's like that's some shit that like you could miss on just a regular workup, regular scan. You could miss that shit. But the fact that they had to go back and do some extra shit. But it's like, it's crazy because like he's had like a rough career to be so young. He like 26 years old. He already done missed the whole season with a knee injury. Now he got to potentially deal with this shit. And it's like, you don't know if it's benign or not, man. But, you know, prayers for Karis LeVert. Hopefully he okay.
Yeah, you got anything else?
Nah, not really, man. No, you got to get out of here, man. We just want to say thank you to everybody for the 4 years of support. You know, all of our first-time listeners, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you come back next week. In the meantime, check back all of the back catalog and everything like that. Audio every Monday, YouTube every Tuesday/Wednesday-ish. Yeah. Except when Dan on tour.
Yeah, when Dan not on tour.
Dan not on hookah tour.
Got that van on 75 doing tricks. You know what I'm saying? Wherever he not out there wilding, he's sitting the fuck still somewhere.
But yeah, our numbers fucking boomed this week. Yeah. Like boomed. That's crazy. I'm getting like, the fuck is going on? I had that damn tweet I had about Dave East went viral. That shit had 260,000 impressions.
What tweet about Dave East?
Dave East, Def Jam posted that Dave East had 1 billion global streams, and I said, can somebody in the music industry please explain this to me? And then officially Ice retweeted it, and then it just went off the rails.
I saw Drake as the first artist to hit 50 billion streams.
I can believe it.
Yeah,
I can believe.
Because Future added him today and congratulated him, and it was it made me look. I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked, I saw he's on Spotify, the first artist to hit 50 billion streams.
That's nuts.
Crazy as fuck, right?
I went on Dave East's Spotify profile to try to like do some quick accounting work, and it was like 1.2 million monthly listeners. I'm like, all right, he might get it. And then when I realized that would mean that he would have to been doing music for 1,000 months at that rate. Then I went back to my original assumption.
He would have been signed to Hall & Oates.
The Eagles and such. Like, so once I start,
like, damn, he was there for the Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah. So once I start mathing the math, I wanted to give it to him. I just can't.
Computers puting.
The computers were not puting properly.
Yeah.
And
1 million listeners a month. That's 10 million, 12 million, well, about 13 million a year.
That ain't it.
13 million a year. It's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years, brother.
Nigga was around when the Ice Age.
even if, all right, Apple Music is number 2. Even if he had another 750K on Apple Music, average month, that's 2 million, he still would have to have 500 months at that rate. I don't even know how many years that is. That's like a Fed charge. Like, your sentence is 504 months. Like, I don't even know how many years that is.
He might have his own app.
He has to. He might have his own farm with computers in it that are running, that are puting. Kyrie Chanel
24-hour puting.
That's the only thing I can think.
Round the clock puting.
Unlimited putes from the Dave East streaming farm.
Unlimited puting. That's funny as shit.
Other than that, I don't know, man.
Yo, non-stop puting over this motherfucker.
But yeah, that tweet went viral. Shit had 260,000 impressions.
Yeah, that's wild.
And our numbers jumped as a result of it.
For Dave East to have 1 billion streams.
They said, and they kept pushing global. And officially, Ice is telling people, he's like, man, ain't nobody listening to this nigga in Mozambique. Fuck is y'all talking about? I don't care if he said it could be interterrestrial, motherfucker. This nigga ain't got no billion streams.
Yeah. Damn. Remember how high when the Chinese boy walked up? He's like, what you listening to, Rice Puff Daddy? I was like, I'm listening to Wu-Tang. He's like, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I came to bring the praise of Vendo. Nobody listen to that ching-chong shit. Are you black? You're allowed to be racist. Shit. What's up, Rice Puff Daddy?
Rice Puff Daddy.
Don't nobody listen to that ching chong shit. But it's like, yeah, they not listening to that shit over there.
At all.
Ain't nobody in France banging Davies. I can't see it.
Then it's like mad niggas in my mentions, like with red pellies on. Like, I listen to Davies every day. Me and my pop. I'm like,
Yeah. Me and my
y'all
pop.
are the only ones.
Yo.
Apparently.
All right, that's 20.
Yeah, that's 20. That's 20 right there.
So subtract the 20 from the billion.
Now we only need 999 million. 999,984 streams. Real shit. Got 20, just me and my pop right there. Me and my pop ride out to that day fee shit when we going to do our carpet cleaning. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy as fuck.
Shit bad.
But yeah,
man.
I got nothing else, man.
He done, man.
We'll be back next Monday.
Absolutely.
That's it. Peace.
Peace.